Identification, please. Who will rise to the occasion and take them on? There's no way to win. Get out of the fight. The Scrappers Market is open for business. 3, 2, 1.
Hello and welcome to the VR Summer Games 2021 and welcome back to day 2 of it as well. You're watching the Blaston Premier Bracket and I am your host Defur. I'm also the community manager of the game Blaston, and we actually managed to show the trailer this time around. We were planning to do that yesterday, but now we actually got things working, so that's how we do it here. If you're joining us for the first time right now, this is day 2, and we have been having some really cool action of Blaston yesterday, where this 64-man bracket has been taking place over the last 3 weeks, where the cream of the crop of Blaston competitors have been duking it out for a really nice prize pool and also a B-Haptics tact suit. That's a mouthful, but we do want to give a shout out to B-Haptics, who is sponsoring the event with one of these tact suits, which is, if you haven't checked them out, you should really do that at, I think, bhaptics.com. This event is also brought to you by Virtual Athletics League, who is hosting the VR Summer Games. So big thank you to them for making this happen. And, you know, alongside collaborating with us at Resolution Games, what I also represent. But as yesterday, I'm also not alone. We have several people here with me today, and I will say hello to them here. Hello, guys. How are you doing? Yeah, it's good to see you here. And I'm really kind of curious about what the results are going to bring. Yesterday, we saw a plethora of games, and I think, good note. Good note from chat. They're always on top of things. The things were muted. I can just recap. Oolong said that he was fine. That's all. You didn't miss that much. But now everything sound-wise should be fine. Yes. So yesterday we saw a lot of close games that were close in practice, but on paper weren't that close at all. I don't think we saw a single game that was 3-1 or 3-2. We saw 3-0s all the way around. But hopefully today we're going to see some more closer action. Let's start here with Cruxer. So Cruxer, how do you feel about this event so far? I know that there's been a lot of different games, and I know there's been a lot of the kind of different metas that have been clashing. What are you looking forward to today with this bracket?
I'm hoping that we see more people take risks like we did yesterday. I mean, we even got to see a Super Majestic yesterday, which I thought was extremely unlikely to begin with. I'm also very, very much hoping to see some 3-2s. Hopefully it's not just 3-0s across the board again, but we'll have to see.
Yeah. How about you, Oakfire? What are you looking forward to today?
Oh, well, I can't lie. I'm really looking forward to seeing Tesseract and Josie. I mean, that's going to be such an exciting game, and I don't think it's going to be a 3-0 game.
Yeah, so, I mean, yeah. I'm hoping so too, and we have a lot to dig into with that matchup too. But first, Oolong, what are you looking forward to today?
Well, I'm looking forward to Double Shield not being used. I think we all thought yesterday that was going to be the dominant strategy going into this, but everyone's pretty much learned how to play around it at this point, and it seems like shieldless might actually be preferable going into these last 4 players. So I'm really excited to see what everyone pulls out of their hat.
Yeah, that is very interesting too. A lot of people have been kind of talking about the double shields being the meta now, and it's like almost it was at the point so expected that we got surprised, but then we didn't see it that much at all yesterday. We also did not, unfortunately, see the bunker plays, but hopefully, I mean, this is actually I'm really kind of excited to see how the loadouts are going to look like for these players, especially Josie and Tesseract, because we do have these kind of similar styles in movement, but they have slightly differing loadouts. If we take a look at them, I know we looked at this yesterday, but just as a reminder, refresher of who we're going to get up here. First on stream, it's going to be Josie, which is one of the top players who has been kind of dominant when it comes to the events that we have had in-game. And coming in with the first seed, very well structured. I think we all kind of expected them to come in at the upper finals here. And then we also do have the opponent, which is Tesseract from England, Europe. And I do want to mention here, because I think people kind of noted this yesterday when we looked at these, was that the seed is 10th for Tesseract, which is kind of surprisingly low. This is due to the Tesseract actually being newer to the game, I believe, so his ELO hasn't actually got up to that point. So this is something that kind of changed the game a bit, but his seed was kind of bumped up in that way. And I know that there were some surprised looks there. We have some technical difficulties here behind the scenes, but we're gonna get that sorted in a matter of seconds. This is gonna look super funny now. Like if I even take a look at this, like I think you're back with the sound, but now all the images are like kind of jumbled.
Oh, no.
Are you guys with us here?
Yeah.
Yes, I can hear you.
We're here.
This is gonna be hilarious. We'll have to sort out the pictures here, but of course this is not the right pictures that we have up and running here. We are going to get into the first game in just a bit. One thing that we wanted to kind of get sorted and let everyone know about before we start these games today is that we've had a bit of a tussle before the stream kind of went live. There's been a lot of talk behind the scenes, going back and forth in discussions with the results yesterday. And the biggest kind of thing is that we had a lot of discussion when it came to the lower brackets, or as you can see here, which you can already see that Woody is not moving forward against Turbo, and this has become basically an agreement between Val and the players, where basically an agreement has come through, and Turbo will be moving on to the lower bracket final. We will, however, have an exhibition match between Woody and Turbo, because we all wanted to see this match happen in any case. So we will look at that match after we watch Josie versus Tesseract. But first we're going to head into that battle. Now, if we take a look at Josie versus Tesseract, this is, I think we can do a round of predictions when we start things off here. And let's start with, this is so confusing to me, but let's start with Cruxer that has Oolong's picture. What do you think about Josie versus Tesseract when it comes to the scores?
I think this is our best chance to have a close game in the fact that both players play extremely similarly. They both favor the Hammer E. They both do some sort of the same combo. Tesseract performs it a little bit differently than Josie does. And they both have that calm, cool, controlled way of moving about the field. So I think I'm hoping for a 3-2, maybe a 3-1 though. But we'll see how it goes.
All right, and how about you, Oakfire?
Yeah, it's such a close one, but I'm gonna have to say Tesseract. I think he's been playing really well and being creative, so he might put Josie off.
And what about scores? I know that you don't like this question, but I always like to ask it anyways.
Let's say 3-2. I think this is gonna be a close one.
All right, and how about you, Oolong?
I think everyone's pretty much said everything that I was thinking. I think we're going to see two similar loadouts, two similar play styles executed differently from both of these players. I'm going to make a slightly different prediction based off the scores. I think we're going to see 0 weapon switches during this set.
I see. What makes you say that, though?
I think that these two are going to stick to their guns regardless of what their opponent brings. I just don't see either one of them switching off of what they're comfortable with.
I see. I'm fixing things live here. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, that was something that was kind of new when we saw that yesterday. Bringing it out in the final game against Woody and closing it out with a 3-0. I'm kind of stoked to see that. We're going to kind of get into the match very soon, and we will be taking a look at that. But I believe once we figure out the technical difficulties here, we're going to take a short break, and then we're going to head into the first game of today. And then we'll fix things right up. So stay tuned for a little bit, and then we'll fix things up. And we're back. So let's all just take a moment to lower the music. Thank you, Defur and production. That is me talking to myself. we are about to head into the first game of the day, and which will be, for the first two matches, we're going to have Cruxer and Oolong here, and then Oakfire will be joining us later on. So we'll say goodbye to Oakfire, and we'll see you later then.
Goodbye and good luck. It's going to be so much fun.
All right, so now we've kind of already gone into the predictions, but I do believe that we have the lobby ready, up and running soon. So last question before we go: are we gonna see a Vandal from Tesseract? You think, Cruxer?
I want to say that I hope so, but I'm not sure if Josie's gonna bring anything that makes it worth Tesseract's wild. You know, I mean, he was using grenades yesterday, but he only kept one at a time. It wasn't like his other opponent who was taking 2 grenades at a time, which made it a very optimal call.
And how about you, Oolong?
Well, I got into a whole big debate yesterday on Discord regarding the Vandal. I personally think that we are going to see it because the blinding effect is pretty good, especially when it comes to lines of Hammer Ellipse bullets. So I think that if he uses the timing there to selectively blind Josie, he can actually get a lot more damage in, but we'll just have to see.
Yeah, that is definitely gonna be. I think this game definitely is one of those that is like you can't really predict what is going on, but it looks like the lobby is going to get started soon. So I'll give it and hand it off to Cruxer and Oolong to take this one away. Take it along, guys.
All right, so see, who do you think is going to take the first round?
I think Josie's.
You think Josie's going to take the first round?
Well, okay, I guess if there's going to be a round where there's going to be an upset there, it's going to be on the very first rounds of Tesseract. But I think that we're really going to have to see here. We don't usually see these two players facing off very often at all. So really anything could happen here.
That's true. I do think he would take, or Tesseract would take the first round if it's going to come to that. You know, like we were saying, he's very innovative and creative with his loadout. So if he comes out with something non-conventional, then I think the first round would be the most likely for him to take it.
Yeah. All right. Hopefully I'm not seeing into the future with this the casting this time around. I was watching that clip of me calling out the Wildcat yesterday about 10 seconds before it happened.
All right, here we go. They are
You're seeing
going through some lag tests right now.
Yep, just those lag tests.
Yep.
And we are back in the Warhouse.
Let's look at these loadouts. We do not currently see the Vandal. Unfortunate.
Ooh.
Do you want to rescind your earlier guess of him not changing his weapon?
Well, and I mean, hey, you know what? It's pretty much the same between these two. Both running the Hurricane, both running the Hammer, both running the Vector and the Wildcat. The only difference is that Josie picked up Double Shield from Tesseract. Only picked up one. He decided to take that Avalanche nade instead.
I feel like Josie may have actually been worried about the Vandal, and so he chose not to take any grenade. But
whoa! Look at those bounces. All right.
Yeah. Oh,
These
you
two
actually
are just
might be
getting
quite
ready.
a bit behind me.
I might be behind you.
Ooh, it's possible.
Chat. How's the casting?
Here, if they do another test round, we'll try to find a way to sync ourselves up in our way we're viewing it. 3, 2, 1. How'd that sound for you? On time?
And they're off.
Oh yeah, so we've got Wildcat coming out from Tesseract here. Hammer E shots coming from above. The clamp going off from Josie.
The clamp coming down. The clamp coming down.
Yep.
Coming down for both players. Both players managing to get pretty much out of it unscathed. Josie's the one who takes the damage, though.
Alright, nice to see Tesseract taking an early lead. It's not extremely significant, so anything can happen. Pulling out his own hammer combo, it doesn't seem to get any damage off on Josie at this time.
Yeah, and you know, we were seeing it all throughout these sets. Running double shields means that you don't nearly have the offensive capabilities. So getting that health lead's actually huge for Josie, and getting it as early as possible is going to be what's really important.
Very true. Hammer E
very
combos coming out from both players here. Josie already taking a little bit more damage. Tesseract doing an amazing job dodging through the combo. Some players, their eyes work different. They can look at the massive bullets and they see the path through it.
Yep.
Right? More combos. I love how they're both staying in time with each other with their cooldowns. He's drop blocking the pellets with the avalanche nade.
Ooh, manages to send it back to sender. Oh, and somehow Tesseract gets that whole push without any damage.
This is a
goodness.
very, very strong showing from Tesseract here.
Unprecedented.
And the hurricane shot hitting just went shot straight forward. This is... Oh, but Tesseract taking his first damage in a while. Only 13
Oh, there we go.
seconds.
Okay, all right.
Josie's going to have to do something
10 seconds
amazing,
left.
but I think his cooldown is too slow here.
Never say never.
Tesseract just really showing his dodging prowess here. It is quite amazing that he made it through so many combos without taking even a single pellet.
Yeah. And I mean, against double shield again, you know, Josie doesn't nearly have the offensive capability he would have had if he took the avalanche nade.
Yeah.
I think he needs to stop using those shields and let his more offensive options build up, but
Yeah.
I'm
Josie
not the
can-
top 4 player. He is.
Yeah, but Josie does get the initial damage here. Let's see, Tesseract trying to make some combos happen. Getting the avalanche nade out, doesn't seem to connect. Alright, now they're both going for their hammer E combos.
The
And you're
clamp,
gonna see a couple
clamp's
pellets
coming
there.
down. Josie taking a bit of a hit there.
Alright, we've got some shields up. I think he missed a drop block there, unfortunately.
He did.
Right. We've got Wildcat. Nice thrown weapons. We're still in the stage where just throwing your weapon might actually have an effect here. Tesseract drop blocking in the middle of the swarm of bullets there.
Yep. Yeah, and those weapon throws, each weapon does 1 damage when you throw it at your opponent. If you're not doing any other damage, it can be significant. Oh, Josie taking a lot of damage from that avalanche nade.
Massive damage from the nade. Speaking of weapons dealing 1 damage when thrown, you can also get a bit extra out of your grenades. They deal 6 damage when thrown.
Yeah.
And if Tesseract brings out the Vandal, I believe it deals 4 damage when thrown.
There you go.
Here we go. Man, Josie was sitting kind of comfortably, somewhat comfortably, with a health lead and 1 avalanche nade popping right next to him.
15 seconds.
Just gave him
I think
an uphill
Tesseract
battle.
came prepared. He came prepared for this play style today.
This is amazing. Look at this. Now 5 seconds left. Tesseract, he didn't even choose to pop the shield in the middle of
right.
that. He waited until the last second.
The last seconds. And Tesseract's gonna take game 1. GG. All right. Now I'd be very surprised if we don't see a weapon. All right. Also, chat, either one of us out of sync, please let us know.
Ooh. Man, that was an amazing match.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's just the execution of those 2 play styles, and you know what? Even though Josie took those 2 shields, he was having trouble getting through the hammer ellipse anyway. So
Yeah.
I think at this point, running double shield against some of the players who know how to get around it might not be the best option for them.
Yeah, and I mean, even with double shield, whenever the hammer E bullets are coming at you from every direction, it's still a conundrum of what to do. I mean, you can't block 3 directions at the same time, and if they choose to shoot from 3 different directions, then you still only have the 2 shields.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe the 2-second shield doesn't even block 1 entire hammer ellipse shot. I could be mistaken on that.
Yeah, well, I mean, it depends on how exactly you sling your hammer ellipses, I feel like. If they come from both ends and do the standard clamp action that we see from these two, it's very, very hard to get it with one shield. But you can kind of throw the shield out and prevent it from even getting to your side of the play area.
Yes, that's very true. And throwing shields gives them a slight bit of a health advantage because as soon as you pop them, they start losing their own health anyway, which also plays into their timer.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see, we're having weapon swaps. Do you think Josie is going to swap off of the double shield?
Yeah, I think he's going to swap his 4-second shield for something else. Or, I mean, he might go crazy. He might try and pull out that tether in round 2.
All right, I would love to see that, honestly. Josie pulling out the tether, and for the second day in a row, that would be quite something.
Or we might see the Viper, which would also be a good choice here.
And it looks like we're going to have our lag test here again.
Oh, Tesseract's going to be the one to pull out the tether.
Very interesting.
Going into Josie Hammer Ellipse, Viper Ellipse. I don't think that Tesseract nearly has the advantage there, but an interesting choice nonetheless.
But Tesseract also with a single shield this time.
Yes. You know what? It probably is worth it to explain. So when we say tether, we're actually talking about a weapon called the Quicksilver. It's the small ball-shaped weapon that you see in Tesseract's loadout. While you are holding on to the Quicksilver, all of your projectile speeds from weapons are increased. So it's used for these strong pushes to deal a lot of damage all at once. And really outpace your opponent. So it's going to be interesting here, seeing Josie going against that with only the... Actually, no, Josie kept the double shield.
Yep.
So...
And you may also hear a sort of a chain-breaking sound. If you step too far away from the tether, then it will also break, and I believe deal 5 damage to you. So let's see, Tesseract taking quite a bit of damage, even though he had his shield out there in the beginning. Now he's starting out with Wildcat and Hurricane volleys here, using the tether. Gonna have to play it safe there. Josie taking a small health lead.
Ooh, Tesseract's gonna take a lot of damage there. Oh, but he's coming out with the tether. Josie ducks and weaves. He doesn't really have anything else to follow it up with. He has the Hammer Ellipse, but Ellipse weapons don't nearly get as much of a boost as normal weapons do. Ooh, having to force the 2-second shield to get rid of the Viper shot there.
And let's see.
Now the commentary is like 1 second ahead. Oh man, alright. Well, that one I can just do the mental block
probably,
here.
No, I think that would be me. You're quite a bit behind me here, actually. There we go.
Ooh.
Alright.
Josie waving his Viper right in Tesseract's face. Ooh. Here comes the push.
And we've got the Wildcat coming out from Tesseract here. Tesseract managing to even up the health values a bit. And the hammer clamps from both players.
Ooh, gonna take some damage from the tether here.
Alright.
Ooh, Josie's actually gonna lose his health advantage here. Ooh, well, and gets it right back. He just needs to hold on in these last couple seconds.
15 seconds. 10 seconds.
All right, this is the last push. He ducks down into some hurricanes.
3.
And looks like Tesseract's gonna take round 1. Oh man, he ducked right down into it.
Alright, I believe everything should be synced up
2,
now.
1. Blast on.
Chat, let us know. We need you, chat. More than ever.
Alright, let me see. Hammer E shots coming from both players right now. You seeing that, Oolong?
Yes,
Okay.
I am.
There we go.
Well, not from both players, just from Tesseract.
Oh.
Ooh, all right. He's gonna push him off of that tether, and that Viper's gonna land.
Oh, okay. So Oolong, you're about a half second ahead of me.
Okay, that I can just resolve by by shutting up for about 0.5 seconds before I call out. Ooh, tether
There we
coming
go.
in.
Tether shots coming from
Ooh,
Tesseract here.
Josie takes 3 of those Wildcat bullets.
Alright, we've got... Ooh, the Viper E shot missed the shield, but luckily it also missed Tesseract. Wildcat shots coming out from Tesseract. He's waiting on cooldowns.
I don't know whether or not Josie should wait for the tether before he goes in on the Viper shots. He's gonna keep Tesseract in one spot. Ooh, Tesseract's gonna take a lot of damage there.
Nope.
Josie's gonna take some in return.
All right, I believe Tesseract still has a bit of a health advantage here. And we'll see if he can get any tethered shots to land, but he doesn't. I don't think he saw that his Hurricane was
Josie
there.
has a very slight lead. Very slight. It's really too close to call at this point.
There it is. Yeah.
Don't back up into those Hurricanes, Josie!
Oh, but then he was looking at the Hurricanes and takes Raptor shots.
Yep. Ooh, all right.
Tesseract.
Another
putting on the
tether. Josie's gonna go down to the red. So is Tesseract. In the last 15 seconds here, Tesseract's gonna take some of those Wildcat shots. Josie just has to hold on.
Tesseract desperately needs his guns to come off cooldown here. Are those Hammer E shots even gonna make it to the other platform? And he accidentally breaks the tether.
And Tesseract's gonna take game 2!
Amazing. If this is a 3-0 in the opposite way, I don't know what to think.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was incredibly close on both those rounds.
That was extremely close.
Oh my goodness. No way. Chat's going crazy. Oh, man. So, I guess in the battle of EU versus NA ain't looking too good.
But
We'll have
taking
to
it
see.
a little hard here. Hopefully Josie can step it up. We might be having more weapon swaps from the players. Jeez.
Yeah.
But
All right.
I wonder
we
if
got
Josie's going to
we got our third lobby up. Yeah, I don't think that we're going to see the Vandal at all. I don't at this point. I think that Tesseract knows that he's got that lead. It was very surprising to see him pick up the tether. That tether did a lot of damage. I don't think Josie was expecting it at all.
It did. Josie did a good job keeping his shields for when Tesseract pulled out the tether, so he was able to block the majority of the damage that was coming for him. But I did see there at the end, Tesseract was a little fast on it, and Josie, a little slow to draw up the shield, did take one Wildcat bullet right before the shield got up.
Yep. And I mean, that was the difference between winning and losing in that last round.
It was. That's how close it gets.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. See, we're looking at our lag tests yet again. A little wave from Tesseract. And what gun swaps do we have here? Not able to see all the weapons yet. Josie's just looking.
I wonder if it was Tesseract who wanted to swap. Because
I believe, he got rid of the tether.
Everything the same, yeah.
So you were almost right here for the weapon swaps. It seems Josie doesn't really want to swap now that he's got the Viper. Maybe he is just gonna try to rely on himself to trap Tesseract and be able to hit those Viper shots.
Yep, trying to get what he couldn't get in game 1. Definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results.
Yep. Alright. See, after this last little reset here, and our next round should be live at the beginning of game 3 for Tesseract versus Josie.
Pink wins.
This is pretty hype, not gonna lie, folks.
It is. I'm loving seeing a game that is this close.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully Josie can give us at least the hopefully Josie can take at least one game so we don't have just another string of 3-0s today, but
I mean, even with the 3-0s, you know what? Every single one of these matches has been really close.
That is very true. Even if the rest of the games are this close, it really doesn't bother me. All right, we've got the clamp coming out from Tesseract. Hurricane
using
shots
his
going.
own clamp against him. Ooh. Oh, throws the weapon right into the nade.
Man, that is all.
That actually wouldn't have worked if Tesseract didn't use that nade to drop block at least once.
I wonder if Josie saw that. I would bet he did.
Yeah, I think he did.
Calm, collected player. See Josie with a somewhat decent health lead here at the beginning, especially with the way the last match went. And we can see Josie drop blocking with
anything, honestly. With how these matches have been going.
Yeah.
Ooh, all right, returns it to sender.
All right. Gotta watch out for his own avalanche nade now. And a Viper shot catching Tesseract. Seems Josie was right to stick with that weapon. Alright, hammery shots coming in from both players. Both players seem to be adapting very well to the clamp combo and being able to dodge a lot more than some of their previous opponents.
Yeah. Ooh, we got some fancy Viper work.
Oh,
Josie going Ultra Instinct now.
Alright.
Ooh, and
Josie
he's
making
teetering
very
on
good
the
use of
very
his shield,
edge.
managing to only take a single pellet throughout that entire combo, taking an extremely comfortable health lead here in the last 20 seconds of the match. Tesseract's going to have to pull out something amazing to get back into play now.
It's really going to be that Avalanche Nade, and it passes right by him. Ooh, that... Was it just me, or was that Viper caught the shot incredibly close?
It looked like it was fairly close to his back to me as well. Alright. Got one last clamp coming in for Tesseract, but the bullets not being that fast. Do they even get there in time? And it doesn't look like they will.
Are we gonna see the reverse sweep from Josie?
That would
We
be...
might.
I could
That'd
only
be wild.
hope. Yes.
1. Blast on.
Alright, let's see. Avalanche nade up top. Gonna get blocked by a thrown shield. We have, yet again, hammer clamp plays coming in from both players. Both players managing to dodge it all as well. Vector shots coming high from Josie. Thrown shield. It's going to take out most of those Wildcat bullets here.
Ooh. Ooh, Josie's gonna take a lot from that clamp.
The shield. Josie did manage to dodge all of the avalanche pellets, but then taking his eyes off the incoming volley from Tesseract took a bit of damage there.
He can't let let himself get lazy here. He's
Yeah.
really got to pay attention to any damage he takes.
Now I think we're seeing Tesseract make a slight adjustment in the way that he's playing. He is waiting for the moment before his combo strikes Josie, and that's when he's throwing the avalanche nade, so he has to pull his attention away from where the pellets are coming from.
Yep.
Let's see if we can see it again.
Waiting for the combo is going to be very important here. Josie toes ahead and takes a couple of those hammer bullets.
Alright, another
He's got the bread
avalanche
and butter.
nade makes him duck low. Viper shots coming within just a couple inches. Tesseract here, but he seems to be comfortable and confident in the way he's dodging. Oh, Josie now in the red. And taking 3 damage from a handle from the shield.
We saw him get so far ahead last round, and I don't know if he's going to be able to get this one back.
Alright, let's see. Hurricane shots coming from above with 15 seconds here. And I believe Josie just ran out of his Viper E bullets. Getting another Viper and hitting some shots is the only way I think he's going to pull this one back.
3, 2, 1.
And it didn't happen.
Tesseract's going to take round 2. All right. 3-3 in the third match.
Let's see.
2, 1. Blast
Now it all comes down to this round. If Tesseract wins this, then Josie is out of the tournament. So
No,
Josie
he
is-
still has losers. Still has losers.
Losers, that is correct. I'm sorry.
But
Hey,
this is the finals of winners, so he'll be out of the winners bracket.
Yep.
Oh man. Okay. Josie.
He
Oh,
won't
Josie
have
actually taking a lot of damage at the beginning of this round. That's already not going to be great for him.
Tesseract
He's going to be
managing
setting up
to-
a clamp.
Yep. Josie now learning to be wary from those avalanche nades. Did throw his shield at it fairly early there just to make sure it got nowhere near his own platform. Tesseract taking his first bit of damage there just from a thrown weapon. Alright. And something we're noticing here is all the players that have been choosing to use the Vector, which is the gun that's bullets bounce off the walls, they have all been having very good angles, very good lineups for their shots.
Yeah.
In some other tournaments, we've seen them go wide, seen them go a bit low, but all the players are showing tremendous skill with that weapon in this round. That
One of the hammer
is
bullets
amazing
making contact. Tesseract is skating through this with no damage at all.
40 seconds. Josie is near down to half health. I mean, he has got to be getting
Oh,
desperate.
he is within Viper shot range. He is within Viper shot range, though.
Okay.
He drop block.
Now this changes things. This opens up
This
the
changes
possibilities
everything.
for
This
Josie.
changes everything.
Yeah, Tesseract takes his first pellet of the match. Or, well, his second after the Viper. His first hammer pellet. Oh my gosh. I don't even know who's in the lead.
I think that Tesseract's still in the lead slightly.
Alright, we'll see here if he can
But
solidify
it's like
that
a
at all.
weapon. It's like a weapon throwaway. Ooh,
Yeah.
Josie's gonna take 1 damage. Who's it gonna be? And it is
Yeah,
gonna be
1 damage.
Tesseract taking game 3.
That's it. Josie is going to go down to losers.
She.
Oh my gosh, what an amazing match. But another 3-0.
Another 3-0. I mean, hey, listen, you know what though? We got to round 3. It's
At least
still
it
wild
was.
how it ended up.
Oh, yes. I'm glad that we've finally seen a real upset here. I believe that was the first match where it didn't go just exactly the way we guessed.
We did also say that Baby Spine yesterday was gonna take
did you?
Turbo during his matchup. But
that's
yeah,
my
that
bad.
was. I think that it's very rare that we see Josie lose a best of 3 like that. And I
Yeah.
think that it really, at the end of the day, came down to the hammer shots. I think that Tesseract did a lot of damage with the hammer shots, even with Josie's 2 shields. He wasn't able to quite keep up with it.
Yeah, and I mean, that just goes to show, like, it's just even more impressive with Tesseract only having the single shield that he managed to take less damage from effectively the same combo.
Yeah.
That is amazing. The skill of these players blows me away. That was so much fun to watch. And now we have our exhibition match from Woody and Turbo coming up next.
Yes, Defur. If you're out there, come join us.
You know, I'm always
You gotta remember to let him in.
you know that I'm always waiting for my chance here. That was a very, I don't know, it's so sad to me because it's just like 0-3 again, but then it's like the story of this tournament at this point, where it's like the closest 0-3s I've seen in any tournament ever. I was rooting for Josie there just for the fact that I didn't want to see another 3-0, but I guess at this point it's like a cursed tournament in that regard, at least in these finals. So before, I mean, we're going to get the very next game soon enough, but before we do, I kind of wanted to hear just from you guys about this match, because they did many different things that we kind of suggested it about the Quicksilver coming into play, or the Tether. Strangely, it was from Tesseract and no Vandal. So what could have, like, if we start with Josie, what could have Josie done different to kind of not get 3-0'd in this case? I'll have you go first, Cruxer, if you could say.
I mean, I feel like it's so hard to say. I think the sole difference between this match is who dodged the opponent's hammer combo better. And now that does sound kind of bad that Josie did have 2 shields where Tesseract had 1, but Tesseract was just showing amazing skill at finding the one and only path through those bullets where he would take no damage, or at least the least amount of damage he could. And it was very unfortunate in the one round that Josie got hit by basically an entire avalanche nade right on the side of his body. That one kind of solidified that round entirely by itself. Yeah.
What do you think, Oolong? I mean, there was so many different moments, especially even the last round here. It just came down to the wire. Like, what do you agree with Cruxer here on the movement, or?
You know what? I think that really, especially if you look at match 2 with the tether coming out from Tesseract's side, Josie was trying to get his clamp down. But when he's trying to also defend against everything that Tesseract was throwing at him, it made him a bit flat-footed, and thus he wasn't able to get the dominant positioning that he usually has during these tournaments to set everything up perfectly. He wasn't able to go out with his paintbrush and do stuff. He kind of had to constantly dodge things from every direction, and I think that affected how his Hammer Lips bullets came out too. And, you know, we said it yesterday, but the best defense is sometimes a good offense. And I think that double shield at this point in play, although it did well against the tether, it still, you know, he had to sacrifice that extra weapon slot. And I think that made all the difference.
So, but just focusing on the fact that Tesseract did switch to the Quicksilver, why do you think he did do that? Was that to counter Josie, or would like try to predict a new build that he was gonna bring out, or just the way he played, or?
I think it was to force Josie to be flat-footed, to have to play the defense game. Even with the 2 shields, you know, if you're constantly forcing your opponent to use those 2 shields to defend against anything that you're throwing at them, and you're using lower cooldown weapons, then you do restrict their ability to fire back on you. And I think that the Viper was a really good choice from Josie coming out against against the tether. But when that tether was in play, he wasn't able to get the positioning he really needed to be able to fire off those Viper bullets.
Yeah, it seemed like he also, like, Tesseract kind of figured out how, like, where the angles were gonna come from. I saw a lot of from Josie going from the top down, like these type of kind of angle, and it felt like whenever that happened, Tesseract was just like at the next level and just knowing already what was gonna come ahead of time, almost like our casting. Just side. I couldn't help myself. But yeah, so of course, if you're tuning into this, like, we're doing this live, and I'm joining us here from Sweden, where the production is for the one-man crew, and we have Cruxer and Oolong from the United States. So we'll try to make the best we can do with the setup that we have, guys. Please keep that in mind. But we are going to take a quick look at the bracket, because it has been updated now, and also just to kind of reiterate to what we said earlier. So now this is a bit of a different situation that you might be used to in the regular esports tournaments, but one thing that we want to kind of keep true in Blaston is to have the competitive spirit up and running, and we have had some disputes, but which meant that Turbo is going to go ahead for the lower bracket final. However, we do still want to see the game happen. So Woody and Turbo is going to play an exhibition match here as a show for us here on stream, and show the best parts of Blaston for us. So that's what we're gonna have up next, and we're going to get some lobbies set up. But the winner, oh yeah, right, I didn't even update this, but of course Josie is going to go up against Turbo then, and the winner of that match will then go up back into grand finals here and go up against Tesseract. So, but we still have the exhibition match before that, and you know what question I have for you guys, right? It's still an exhibition, but I still want to hear it. What do you think the score is going to be when it comes to Woody versus Turbo and Oolong? You can start this one off.
I think Woody's gonna take it. I saw it. I mean, don't get me wrong, Turbo's been playing awesome this entire bracket, and I mean, so has Woody. But I think that Woody is going to be pulling out all the stops. I don't think he's going to stop just because it's an exhibition match.
All right. And how about you, Cruxer?
I am very happy to say that I do agree with Oolong in this one. I'm glad to have a match where I can fully root for my boy Woody. But yeah, I mean, I could see this being a 3-1 or a 3-2, but I do think Woody is going to be the one taking it this time.
I feel like we're gonna set the precedent if, like, all this like finals in this tournament is gonna go only 3-0s. So maybe we'll see something different in this exhibition match. But when it comes to builds, then, because you know, we talked about Josie and Tesseract being similar when it comes to movement, but when we look at Woody and Turbo, what kind of builds are we expecting for them to bring out? What do you think, Oolong?
Well, I think this is going to be a slugfest. I think that the expectation was in the top bracket that things were going to be sort of slow and methodical, and we did see part of that. And I think that this one's going to be a slugfest. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw 0 shield builds. I think Woody's going to bring out his signature Viper, but I also wouldn't be surprised if someone brought out a tether.
That seems to be like the difference maker these days now, when it's just like, oh, I want something new, something different, and you get the Quicksilver. What do you think, Cruxer, in terms of the loadouts?
I definitely think Woody is going to have his Viper. I mean, it's almost a staple for him. I'm not sure I've ever seen him without it. I'm going to make some predictions. I think if Woody brings out some snowballs, then we might see some snowball connections. And if he has the snowball and the Viper at the same time, then with Turbo being blinded, I feel like it's going to be extremely hard for him to dodge those Viper shots. We'll see. Yeah. I hope to see it.
Yeah, that's actually interesting. I just realized now that we haven't seen the Frostbite being used that much these finals now, so that is an interesting thing to note. Also, I did see in chat someone noting like, what the hell is the clamp? And of course, if you're new to Blaston, there's a lot of technical terms that we're using here because we are, of course, trying to get the words out as fast as possible. And the clamp, if you don't know, is the hammer, the shotgun. You can basically shoot them in an angle to clamp it together, yes, such as Oolong shows or how I showed, which is very deadly when it comes to this like bullet hell and trying to kind of avoid these pellets going at you. But with that being said, we're just about to get the lobby open, so I'm gonna send it off for Cruxer and Oolong to take care of this one, and we'll see you after the game. So take it away, guys.
Good.
Yep. So let's see. I guess I could start out. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No,
I was going to explain clamp. So when we talk about the clamp, what we're specifically talking about is spacing out your hammer ellipse shots. That way they all are intersecting with your opponent's play area at the same time. So we saw a lot of that in the last game where they would start out way back here and then they do one closer and one closer. And especially if they're coming from both sides, it can sort of clamp you into a certain spot on your play area, which then you can follow up with the Wildcat or the Vector, or I mean, heck, even at this point, the Viper Ellipse, and do a lot of damage.
Mm-hmm. In that regard, if you're using the hammer E clamp, it can be hard even for the attacker to use the Viper, because you are going to have to analyze the way that your own pellets have spread out, see the one and only out for your opponent, and then that's where you need to aim your Viper shot. And with the curve of that weapon, it actually takes tremendous skill. I know all of these players make it look so easy. Me being somebody who can get into the top 100 leaderboards, I can't use the Viper at all, the Viper E. So I mean, it's so difficult to use, and but these players do make it look nearly effortless.
Yep. Yes, they do.
Here for our lag test.
Mm-hmm.
3, 2,
We're jumping right into it.
Yep.
Ooh, that's interesting. We see Turbo running double nades.
Double nades. Both
Double
players with a
nades.
snowball.
Both players
Frostbite.
with snowball with the frostbite.
Woody does have Snowball Viper, like I was hoping for.
1. Blast on.
See if we get a little snowball test. Yep,
Snowball
there we go.
test.
And as you can see, for anybody new to the game, Snowball, when it hits, it expands greatly, which you can use that to blind your opponents, which is also even more dangerous when the opponent has a Viper Ellipse.
Yep. It can be dangerous for your opponent. It can also be dangerous for you because you can hide in that snowball as well. So
Blast on.
we're gonna have to see how many of those actually hit. We've got a very similar build either way.
All right, and that is the Avalanche and the Majestic.
We're doing it live.
All right, we got a little bit of showmanship from Turbo. You love to see it. Another thing I love about this game is all of the top people are very good sports.
Blast on.
All right, the fake out. He wasn't even holding a snowball at the time.
Ooh, Viper. I have to remember that I have to like not react right as I see it. I have to mentally have that block in my mind. But
That
big
was an
Viper
amazing
coming
shot.
out there.
The headshot, and here we can see Turbo using the hammer ellipse in the way that a typical player would. The vast majority of players cannot perform the clamp maneuver we were talking about in that way. Woody taking avalanche nades from behind, but Woody also with a massive health advantage here, only 40 seconds into the match.
Oh, anything could happen.
Right. We can see Turbo going for...
Right, those hurricanes coming down from above.
Yep, but Woody
He
has
ends
the
up just
shield.
getting completely rid of them.
Yep, avalanche nade coming from behind Turbo, going to connect with 2
Oh,
pellets.
that's going to be a lot of damage to Woody.
Multiple pellets on Woody.
Still has his health advantage.
1 minute.
Turbo seems to be going a little bit high. I think he was trying to get him to duck down into the line.
Yeah, Woody making good use of that shield, blocking some of the hammer pellets and getting the throw for the avalanche nade. Turbo taking avalanche in the back and snowball.
Woo!
And the snowball to finish the match.
So that was what? That was 4 snowballs from Woody and 1 Viper bullet. So that's a total of 90 damage from 2 weapons.
And that is nearly unprecedented at this level of play for the majority of matches that you would see. Seeing one snowball hit is typically a surprise, let alone 4.
Okay. We just saw Woody do something that actually is a good counterplay to nades. Stepping to one side of his play area. Ooh, Turbo taking a lot of damage from that avalanche nade. Stepping to one side of his play area and then using that to bait out the nade and then stepping to the other side.
Yes, as the nade will always aim towards the center of the player when it popped. Alright, here we can see both players with somewhat even health here. Turbo managing to catch Woody's Hurricane and use it to get rid of some of the bullets, stepping into...
And a Viper hit on the hand!
Oh my gosh, Woody going absolutely relentless with these Viper shots. Alright, we've got Hurricane shots coming down on top of Turbo. Is Woody going to have any pressure? And a snowball.
1 minute.
A thrown nade from Turbo is just going to pop on Woody's head for 6 damage instead of actually getting to go off. Woody blocking the Viper E shots in the middle of the hammer combo.
Ooh, all right, now it's Turbo's turn to get one of those Viper shots in.
Amazing. We've got the Hurricane.
He tries to end it with the thrown damage on the shield.
You can't blame him. He could also try to do that with a thrown grenade. I am almost certain that would take him out.
Oh, what
But
is that last point of damage? Was that
Hurricane.
a Viper? I'm gonna watch it on the replay real quick. No, it was a Hurricane.
Yeah.
Hurricane is gonna take the round. Gonna take the game. All right, and we do have a weapon swap. Woo!
Okay.
Yeah,
I wonder.
the snowball damage is scary, especially on a 2-second cooldown weapon.
Yes. And I remember before when the hitbox for the snowball used to be much larger than the actual weapon, and it was so hard to dodge. Very glad that got fixed recently.
Yeah, I mean, even compared to the Viper Ellipse bullets, snowball is also one of the fastest weapons in the game. You do have to throw it, so that's really the hard part of using it. But
Yes. Yeah. But like I was saying, I'm not at all surprised to see Woody hitting those snowball shots, hitting those Viper E shots, as that is really one of his very strong points. And so, Oolong, if you had to guess, do you think it is Turbo making weapon swap?
you know what? I think we're gonna see the Quicksilver here. I think we're gonna see the Quicksilver come out against Woody.
I would like to see that. And then Woody did not have a shield, correct? No, he did. He had one
he
shield.
had double shield. He had double shield.
Oh, double shield. Okay.
He had double shield that time, and I think that was one of the matches where we actually saw double shield being used to full effectiveness because it was going up against double nade. So he was able to pretty much deny a lot, and then also use his 2-second shield offensively as well to basically block Turbo's vision before those Viper shots were able to land.
Yes. Also, we saw the Avalanche nade getting, I believe, the most effectiveness out of any match we've had so far. Both players were actually taking quite a bit.
I think that Woody's a way of. Ooh. We got the feed. Yeah, we got the feed.
Okay.
I think that the Avalanche nade was doing a lot of work, especially when Woody was sending it behind Turbo.
Yes, it was. Turbo having to deal with the Viper E shots from in front, and then just having to pay so much attention to that, especially with the way that they curve. It can sometimes be hard to predict the way that they're going to go, and so you just don't have the brain space to also be thinking about those Avalanche nades sometimes.
Yep, especially all in the heat of the moment too.
Yeah.
Out here in spectator mode land, it looks so easy. It looks so simple.
Yeah, and something that we haven't been thinking about, Woody is one of the most popular YouTubers for the game. He's used to being in front of people. You know, Turbo might be nervous here.
That's true. Ooh, all right. A couple of those Viper, or Vector shots. I don't know why I continue after all this time to confuse those two. At least in name.
Yeah. Okay, but we see Turbo getting the initial damage.
Here we go. And Turbo swapping out one of those nades for Viper of his own.
The headshot with the Viper Ellipse onto Woody. Woody with the last second nade block. All right, and then we've got the snowball.
That's going to do some work.
Woody waiting on cooldowns. He doesn't want to start a combo with nothing to follow it up with. Ooh, and another Viper shot from Turbo.
Yup, he wasn't expecting that, especially with the hammers coming out. 1 minute left on the clock. It's going to be very hard for Woody to get this advantage back here.
And I think we're seeing here the weapon swap from Turbo is getting off of the double nades. Got the avalanche nade coming from high.
Out of the way of that Viper.
All right, there's 40 seconds left. Is Woody going to make some magic happen here?
Oh, he managed to take one of those.
30 seconds.
There we go. Getting the avalanche damage. It's going to help close it down, but there is only 20 seconds left. I find it hard to see Woody coming back from this one. His Viper
he tries to drop block through it.
Round is over.
And Turbo takes round 1 of game 2.
3, 2,
Okay, see here.
blast on.
Alright, we've got the fake out throw there from Woody. Getting Turbo to move a little bit. Hammered shots coming in.
One of those avalanche. Does he see the avalanche nade being procced behind him? He does. Okay, he turned around.
Alright, we've got hurricane shots coming in from Woody. Turbo trying to set up a similar maneuver with
a lot of damage
avalanche.
there.
Turbo taking massive amounts of damage. The avalanche and the snowball hitting him for the moment he turns around.
We're only
Turbo.
30 seconds into this round.
Already down to the red. Are we going to see a sub 1 minute round?
Oh, the
Here
mind
comes
games.
The same combo. He drop blocks the Viper, but it doesn't matter. Oh my gosh. And we did a 40-second round.
3,
So now 1-1 in games.
1, blast on.
Woody starts every round with a fake throw. And so far,
I mean, hey,
Turbo's-
listen, it's not a bad strategy.
it's not. Get him to waste some of his energy. Turbo taking a lot of damage, standing in an avalanche nade for about half a second.
Ooh, and a big Viper hit too.
Oh my gosh. Throw the snowball low, throw the Viper shot high. Where does he have to go? Alright, we've got avalanche nade coming in, putting a little pressure. He almost backed into those hurricane shots, but he missed them. Then the snowball. And a great shield use coming from Woody.
All right, those hurricanes are coming down. He has a setup here.
Yep. It's a strong combo. He can use the Viper to corral. And Turbo at probably 2 health. 1 or 2 health.
He's got a fraction of health. It's going to be weapon throws away.
And the 2 weapon throws is going to close out game 2.
Whew. Whew.
Oh
No,
man.
that was pretty hype. All right, and no weapon swap. We're going right into round 3.
Okay, so Turbo must be feeling like it's possible here.
Yeah, I mean, he did take a round. It was
did.
pretty good.
Maybe he feels he just needs a moment more to get used to Woody's combo here and to get into the rhythm of his new loadout. So we've got Hurricane, Avalanche. Oh, Woody taking a headshot from the Viper. Tries to dodge it, but he was a little too slow.
It's not going to be great for him.
And that is the risk you take, sitting at the front of your platform where the bullets have the shortest amount of time. But then he returns the favor. Turbo still with the health.
Speaking of standing at the front of your play area.
Yeah. We've got Avalanche, multiple Hurricanes. Turbo takes 1 Hurricane shot. Woody taking a lot of thrown damage. And some Avalanche. You were right when you said this is a slugfest. These players are dealing damage out left and right.
Yeah. Yeah, you know it's good. We're going into the 2nd minute. They still have half their health left. That's a lot of damage from that hammer.
It is. All right.
Oh, but that's going to be a bit more.
Anyone's gonna
That's going to be a bit more.
Woody is just... Oh, he's an artist with the combo of the Avalanche, Snowball, and Viper. It comes together beautifully every time. All right, here we go. Avalanche nade coming out from Turbo. Woody gonna be able to sidestep all of
He's
it?
swinging that. He's really trying to get inside Turbo's head here, and I think he
One
has.
connection and the snowball, I believe at the last instant that the shield went away. Alright, got Hurricane coming over the top, a little bit of a distraction.
Oh man!
Alright, here it comes, the snowball, the Viper shot!
the successful mind games.
I believe at this point, all Turbo can do is he's going to have to get his spatial awareness in his mind to where he doesn't need to look at the avalanche, or he can turn it around, taking the extremely risky play.
Yep.
But there's another avalanche nade waiting behind that one, and the Viper shot bringing Turbo down to about 10, maybe 7 health. Then Turbo down to 1, and the Hurricane.
Got another shutout.
3-0 from Woody to Turbo.
Oh my goodness.
That was
What
game
a
3 or 2?
bloodbath.
Oh, jeez, I'm losing. My, what an insane match.
I apologize to the one person who bet on Turbo there.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so I think that definitely was a slugfest, just in a bit of a different way than I was expecting. Woody still had the double shields. He still had, what a lot of people were running, but 90% of the damage from both players came out in the form of Viper bullets and snowballs.
Yes, and I mean, it was just so masterfully done from Woody. I mean, it was the same thing every time, and some of you might think, oh, well, why didn't Turbo figure it out? It's in the moment, that's so much going on. I mean, you've got to worry about that. The grenade above you, which is basically a whole shotgun blast, the Viper shots and the snowball, but regardless, I think we should let Defur hop in here.
We should let Defur come confer with us.
Yeah, I like how this is starting to become a thing in this kind of regard, where it's just like me waiting in a cage outside. This was very interesting, and I think that of course, this is a very special circumstance with this kind of exhibition match playing within a tournament. But this sets very a lot of expectations for Turbo now moving forward. We know that, as you said, Cruxer, Woody is very much used to being in the spotlight with doing YouTube videos and such things like that. Now Turbo, on one hand, you could also say that they got some warm-up for their actual real game, but then you could also say that it's kind of demoralizing to go 0-3 before you go into the real one, so to speak. We're going to get into the next game soon. We're gonna have a small break before that. But Oolong, what do you think about Turbo going forward now for the next game? Where do you think they'll land against Josie?
Well, he's definitely warm. That I can say for sure after all that. I think the biggest thing he needs to take from this matchup is that he's gonna have stuff coming at him from all angles. And regardless, you really need to be using your ears as much as your eyes in Blaston. Being able to hear the subtle audio cues through all the rest of all the audio to hear for things like the avalanche nade, even for stuff like the hurricane bullets that have a distinctive noise as they're coming down.
Yeah, that's very true. What do you think, Cruxer, when it comes to Turbo going into the next game here?
I feel like you were saying, demoralizing coming off of a 3-0, but it's also demoralizing to think that Josie 3-0'd Woody, and then Woody then 3-0'd Turbo. So I hope Turbo isn't letting it get to him. I hope that he's still going to show up and have a very strong showing against Josie. Maybe he has been spending his time practicing, as I know that Josie has. And so he could have been planning for how he's going to deal with the hammer ellipse combos.
Very true, but that we'll just have to wait and see. We're gonna take a small break, and then when we come back, we're gonna be joined by Oakfire, who is going to take it away with a lower bracket final. And thank you so much for this up until this point, Cruxer, for your casting. It's been a blessing to have you on. It's been really great to have you. We'll talk. Yeah, we'll talk more to you when we end the show later today. But now we're heading to a break, so don't go anywhere, and we're going to go to the lower final. So stay tuned. All right, and we're back. What a great way to kind of get on with these matches. Now, of course, I'm looking to see if I can get the reaction of Oolong here, but we are going to go into the lower finals now. It is going to be none other than Josie versus Turbo that you just saw playing out, right? And it's gonna be a blast, I think. Yeah, where did the Defur go? It was
I just see another Dr. Oolong.
It would be even more funny if I switched it to this, because you were out of the camera, and then it's just like, yeah, I had Oolong in the house here with me, you know. But we are going to get into the lobby just in a second. But before we do that, we haven't heard the predictions from Oakfire, who's returning now. So what do you think about this upcoming match between Turbo and Josie, Oakfire?
Well, I mean, I think everybody knows Turbo is an underdog here, so yeah, I hope he can put up a good fight against Josie.
Yes. So we're getting into the lobby as we speak, and I'll just leave it to you guys to take it away. So we'll have the lower finals starting soon.
Awesome.
Defur got captured by Octo agents. All right, getting into this match. So Oakfire, not necessarily just on the results of this match, but do you have any predictions for what we're gonna see here?
I think Turbo is gonna try to go radical. I mean, to be able to put Josie off guard, you have to do something unexpected, or you just have to, do the hammer E and the bullet hell to perfection, like we saw Tesseract do.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, what do you think?
I think that we're gonna see. I think that if Josie was gonna pull out the tether anywhere, he was gonna pull it out here. All right. Oh, okay. That's not the actual match too.
Okay.
This is still lag test. Actually, shoot. What is that I see?
Loadouts.
Do I see a Nova Helix?
I don't. Oh yeah, you do. It's a Helix.
That would have been pretty weird if I was seeing it and you weren't.
It's radical.
Radical.
That's what I was talking about.
Radical.
Oh, let's see. The Helix is gonna be tough with Josie, so Turbo really have to overwhelm him with pellets at the same time as shooting the Helix. Otherwise, it's so easy to take it out with the Raptor or the Hurricane.
We're gonna see. But Josie ain't got no Raptor. Is the thing. Ooh, all right. Gonna start off with a strong. Oh, we're gonna start out with 2 strong Viper hits. All right, those Helixes are pretty scary. They do 25 damage a hit.
Yeah, he can use a shield or just throw empty guns. So he didn't really bother.
Oh, the behind the back snowball! What was that?
Oh my god, that was beautiful.
Oh my goodness. Oh
He's
my
getting
god.
a style show.
Oh, that's why. Oh man. All right, and Josie's gonna take round 1, but you know what? Turbo actually did a really good job at the end there. Either way,
it looked like Josie was relaxing a little bit too much, and then Turbo got a lot of hits.
Yep. So the Helix 9-second weapon, it has 2 shots. Each one of those shots produces 2 of those projectiles that you see Turbo using right now. Oh, I don't know if I like one of the angles. One of the angles on those is probably going to go far off to the side. Wait, did I just hear a tether break? Oh my gosh, Turbo is running the tether. Okay, so this is a bananas build.
Yeah, I was expecting that. I couldn't see it when we started the game.
Okay.
But Josie.
No wonder Josie ended up taking so much damage. All right, using the weapon throws. So the weakness of that Helix is that those bullets don't have a lot of collision damage, meaning that even a weapon throw can take them out.
That was a really good tether run by Turbo, taking a lot of damage on Josie. It's not easy.
If he can keep doing that, he's got a good chance.
Yeah, he just gotta stay out
And if he
of
does,
damage.
if he stops taking those big old Viper bullets, ooh, and that's a big avalanche nade too. It's gonna push him back. Manages to duck out of both the Helix and the tethered Raptor.
Turbo can still take this.
And Josie's gonna take round 1. Turbo
Well, that was
literally having to
exciting.
hit the floor at the end there.
I think he was pretty cool. I mean, I'm surprised Turbo chose this loadout, but I'm happy he did. It was a brave choice, and really trying to overload Josie with stuff going on. And Josie did not have good counter to the Helix either. So, but he's a good dodger. He can throw the empty items to delete the Helix orbs. So.
Yeah, and even then it forces him to, use the shield or wait till his weapons are off cooldown, and most of his weapons are pretty high cooldown. So, it'll be interesting. No weapon swaps. We're going right into this next match. And like I was saying before, Josie's getting all the room he needs to really lay down these hammer
Nice
bullets.
dodge by Turbo in the first attack.
Actually, the Wildcat has a pretty good amount of collision. He might be able to use the Wildcat to break some of those helixes if need be.
That Avanade. Oh my god.
Yep. Pushing him back. Oh, the behind the back nade. All right, I think we're getting ready for another tether push. Ooh, the snowball's gonna come out. Will he even get the chance? Ooh, we're gonna see some the fancy plays, the mind games. Oh, uses the weapon throw to get out of that helix.
So for most players, getting attacked by Turbo like this is, I mean, daunting. But Josie is just amazing at.
Josie is pulling
control.
out the A tier, the S tier mind games here. Josie's gonna take round 1. There was that one point where he did the 360 turn and the camera was in like a perfect spot for it. That was beautiful. Yeah, shout out to Resolution Games for the spectator client. This is looking fantastic. Gonna start out with the tether. Josie's gonna push him back a bit with that avalanche cave.
If he can just avoid the Viper and do that much damage on each tether, he might be able to pull it.
Yeah.
Easier said than done.
Ooh, that's a lot. That's a lot of damage.
Beautiful. Beautiful attack by Turbo.
Ooh, and sadly that tether breaks. And remember what I said during that match of Josie and Tesseract. Tesseract was able to keep up the pressure on Josie. Ooh, to the point where he wasn't able to get an advantageous spot on his play area. He doesn't even look at that Viper bullet. He's going purely off of muscle memory. Yeah, when Turbo has that tether, it's pushing Josie back, but in the meantime, when he has to, wait for it to come off of cooldown, Josie's getting ideal positioning right on the front of his play area.
Yeah, the Viper play by Josie is probably the best in the game also. He's such a strong curve master. And he's got really long arms, it looks like. He can really swing those Vipers. Like, it's so scary to meet him in queue.
Yeah. He is actually really tall in real life.
Yeah. I can imagine.
All right. Ooh, those helixes, is one of those gonna hit? Oh, okay. Josie manages to get through them. Did he? Am I going crazy, or did he just throw away his
No,
Viper?
he threw away the Viper. He was
threw away the Viper.
juggling
He
a
said,
little bit.
I don't need it.
I don't need the Viper. It's too.
I don't need it. I mean, this is pretty
good
close
for me.
Yeah. I think the Turbo could take it if he gets another fight. Oh well, I did speak too soon, huh? I was expecting one more
That was
tether.
an exciting round.
All right, are we gonna see the weapon swap? We are, okay.
Okay. So what do you think we're gonna see, Oolong?
I think we might see another Bananas. So Bananas for Blaston is a well-known Tether player within the Discord and overall in the community. And he's known for, usually with the Tether build, you want to be having a lot of really low cooldown weapons that work well with the Tether. So specifically the Raptor, which is the 2-second pistol, the Wildcat, which is the 3-second submachine gun, and the Hammer, which is the 3-second shotgun. We haven't seen it all during this. But Bananas sort of it will go out and will use longer cooldown weapons in conjunction with the Tether, specifically the Super Majestic, which is 10 seconds, and the Helix, which we just saw there, which was 9 seconds, to sort of add a little bit of extra hazards on the field before he then goes in with the Tether. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Turbo switch to like a Super Majestic here.
So do you think Josie's going to stick to his loadout?
Depends on how fancy he wants to be. He could fire back with his own Tether. I don't think he was going to change his loadout unless Turbo did, so we will just have to see.
Yeah, maybe he'll give us a surprise. He could do that.
And it's going to be interesting. Again, giving Josie that ideal spot on the stage is really very, very dangerous, especially with the Viper Ellipse and the Hammer Ellipse, both with the extended hitboxes on the front, or I guess the fire boxes. We are going into our testing round here.
But Turbo's doing a good job with the Tether to overflow Josie, but during the cooldown and he's taking too much damage by Josie, so it's not enough.
Oh my gosh! Look at those nades!
Oh, it was a surprise.
Those nades! Whoa! Okay.
No shields, almost all nades.
No shields, no hammers.
Is it the Nova nade? I can't tell.
It's the Nova nade, the Avalanche nade, the Lance nade, and the Majestic nade, along
only
with the Snowball.
It's only the Hammer nade he didn't bring. It's a bit too expensive, maybe.
Yeah, which is understandable. It's expensive as far as nades go. So I actually have, as wild as it sounds, some experience with running an all nade loadout like this. I used to run basically this exact same thing, except for I believe that I swapped out the Viper for a shield, but that was really it.
I notice we don't have any shields right now. That's awesome.
No shields in play at all?
Yeah, no shields.
A little bit of damage at the beginning there. It's gonna be interesting. So something I like to talk about, not a stat in game, but I like to talk about the duration of certain weapons, which is how long they can effectively be used for. And the big weakness to nades is that it's very hard to have a longer duration of their use, which essentially makes their cooldown longer than other low cooldown weapons. So it's going to be hard for Josie here if he uses all the nades like he has now to get back. Ooh, but a Viper bullet is going to make contact.
Really close game now. I mean, Josie must be feeling confident to bring this loadout. You're really vulnerable.
Yep. However, you've got a huge potential for damage output, especially if he can get that ideal positioning. He's going to juggle him. He's going to juggle him. We've only ever seen that theory. We've only ever seen that in scholarly texts on Blaston. It's always been theoretical, but no one's ever actually managed to do it, much less in a tournament match.
Oh my that Viper. Oh, another Viper. Oh my god. Josie is on fire.
I would like to thank Resolution Game for giving us the opportunity to watch these absolutely wild matches. Absolutely.
Thank you, Josie, for bringing this wild loadout to this level of a gameplay. So much fun to watch.
It is. It really is. All right, the nades are coming out. So yeah, if Josie takes a couple points of damage here, it's not going to be nearly as big a deal as him versus Tesseract, because his damage output is so the top end of it is so high that he can get back whatever he needs to.
Yeah.
We're going to have to see if Turbo can take him out before that point happens. Oh, with another 360 snowball.
It's beautiful.
Oh, the two majestic nades. Gonna take up all of the center of this play area.
1 minute.
Yeah, so normally when you run a nade loadout like this, you want to combine it with the Viper. So he's probably waiting. He can see that the Viper or the snowball is spawning, so he can combine the explosion of the nade with a fast
And
weapon.
the majestic coming from behind. That was such a nice toss. Oh, and Josie is gonna take the win. GG's, y'all. GG.
Oh, what a show!
What a show indeed.
Yeah, I'm so happy to be able to watch this game.
Oh my gosh, yeah, listen, chat, we're watching it right alongside y'all. That was, as someone who loves watching matches of this game, watching him literally juggle on stream was probably one of the most wild things I've seen, and I've been casting Blaston for half a year now.
Yeah, we got some beautiful moves there. I mean, the juggling, that was amazing, and the snowball spins. He did that twice.
Oh
didn't
my
he?
gosh. Oh my goodness. I hope that people were clipping in chat. I was only able to clip once or twice, but that was probably the most, that entire last match is its own highlight in itself. But all right, we should probably let Cruxer back in.
I mean, Defur.
Oh
Hey.
my god. That's embarrassing.
Like, the only
It's
thing
been a
I
long
can say...
day, I'm sorry. It's
The
a
only
bunch
thing
of,
I can
I'm
say
sorry,
is-
Dr. Oolong is what I really should have said.
Yeah, I can't even fathom what's happening on the stream. Like, it's too crazy to seeing those juggles actually gave me goosebumps. That was hilarious. Like even for me, like when I see top level Blaston, I get surprised still in this game. Like we thought. We've been talking about meta this weekend and talking about like, okay, this is feeling defined, and then Josie just comes out swinging with the nade loadout, which is very, I think, almost similar to, maybe not the exact same, but the Japanese player Kurohoku, I think, who also streams Blaston a lot, but it was very much like similar to see it, and just busting that out from nowhere. Mental destruction. Like, I can't. Now this very much puts everything into perspective now, because it's like, okay, Josie got 3-0'd to go down to the lower bracket now, right? And then comes back with a 3-0. Like, still, by the way, only 3-0s in these finals. Like, we have not had anything else. And
That's incredible.
It's so crazy. And I mean, now going back up against Tesseract, it's gonna be Josie then, of course. This almost makes me wonder if this like changes things, because if you go from that kind of insane victory, doesn't that make it a bit higher of a chance that it might go better now against Tesseract? We can take a look at the bracket here. Of course, we did have Josie throwing Woody, then getting 3-0'd by Tesseract, coming back now from winning against Turbo, and we are at the final stop of the Blaston Premier bracket. I'm almost getting sad when I say that. It's been like 3 weeks of competition in Blaston that has been on like a level we haven't really seen before, I would say. Like we have, there have been tournaments, but the stakes have been raised so high that like it's very crazy to see all of this play out. I mean, we have had a prediction before against these, but we're gonna have it again. And Oakfire, how do you feel now about Tesseract going up against Josie this time around?
Well, now he got his practice match, so I think Josie has maybe a little bit more experience playing Blaston. So I don't know. I mean, this is gonna be a battle of the titans. So I think Tesseract is gonna have a tougher time this game.
How about you, Oolong?
I think that if we learned anything from just watching that match, it's that if Josie can get to a spot where he feels safe on his podium and can get to the front of it, that he can just do overwhelming damage with that Viper. So I think it's going to be very dependent on how much Tesseract is able to pressure Josie. If he's able to keep up that pressure consistently and constantly keep him on the defense, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw another 3-0 for Tesseract, but if Josie manages to get up on a round or manages to, swing through with something that we haven't seen before, I wouldn't be surprised to see this go the other way.
and this storyline about Europe versus NA is like still alive all the way down to the grand finals. We have the, I guess, I'm not sure if you can call them uncrowned at this point, but like the Josie has been very much regarded as one of the, or if not the best player in the game. Tesseract in the similar fashion, but in the European region. And now they have, you know, they had a game, but now it's getting decided in the grand final, which is like this most exciting thing ever. Do you think now with this final stop of the tournament that we're going to see something new, or are they just going to go back to how they played in the previous match? What do you think, Oakfire?
I hope we're going to see some new and some innovation, and maybe, I mean, I expect Josie to do something different, because he has to do something different to put Tesseract out of control, because he's playing so confidently.
And how about you, Oolong?
I think that we're going to see more counterplays. I think that in the, I guess it was technically the finals of the losers bracket, we didn't really see a lot of crazy changes, you know, maybe swapping out one weapon here, a nade for another shield, or something like that. I think that now that we're at the finals, we're coming down to it, we're going to see a lot more counter pick. And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Josie go tether himself, being that Tesseract managed to pull it out in the second match and did really well with it.
I love how this has become a thing now, where it's just like, oh, you want to counter the meta? Like, just bring out the unexpected tether. Like, a tether by itself is like, no, you can't play that. But if you bring it out when no one expects it, then it's different.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think that when you get to this high level of play, you know, what is meta and what is not meta kind of just goes out the window. The meta is really what is most effective most of the time. Now, I mean, really, depending on how they use their weapons and what they're comfortable with, we could see anything in these last few matches.
Yeah, I mean, this really has kind of turned the meta on its head with this, and, you know, this is like, if you're new to Blaston 2, it's so exciting to play this game, because the meta changes not just within the patches, but with the patches as well. So every patch there's a new weapon introduced. We had the Vector being introduced the last time. There is going to be a new weapon introduced in the next update. I can't say more than that. You know how it is, guys. But there is more coming to this game. Like, it's getting updated with free updates. So if you're new and if you're just watching this, Blaston, get it on Oculus or Steam. Like, we want new players to get into this, and because some of these players that we've seen in these tournaments are actually new or newer to the game, and they've just kind of been coming in, learning the game as soon as possible, watching the videos from Golden Knight and Woody, and just learning so fast and getting to the higher points. But now is where the point where we're pushing the game up even further, and you know what? We have the grand finals coming up. Are you guys ready?
Now. Oh my goodness.
I'm ready.
Yeah. And we're gonna load directly into it. It's gonna be a lag test, of course, but here it is.
Yep,
Oakfire,
right, I gotta get prediction.
yeah, Oakfire and Oolong, while they do the lag test. What is the predictions? Oolong, you start.
I think that I'm not gonna say any. I honestly cannot say who I think is going to win this game, because I can't even say. I will say I would be surprised if we didn't see any weapon swaps. I think we're going to see a weapon swap after every match.
All right, and I don't think we even have time. They're just going to get into it after this lag check, but Oakfire, quickly, who do you think is going to take it?
I think Tesseract is going to take it. He looks so controlled. Yeah.
All right, here we go. Oakfire and Oolong, take it away with the grand finals.
All right, sounds good.
Great. Let's do this.
So the other thing
I'm getting a bit nervous.
Yeah, I'm
I
pretty
can
hyped
feel it
for
in my
this.
body. It's like, ooh.
I thought that we were going to get another little break beforehand, but we are ready to go. And oh my goodness, what is that on Joe? What is that? What the heck is that on Josie's play area? Is that a super majestic?
Yes, it's a super majestic, and that's
oh my goodness.
super not expected.
Another thing I wanted to mention, just specifically because Defur was talking about new players to the game. If you've never played a massively multiplayer online VR game like this, you know, not only are there meta shifts and not only are there, you know, constant updates to this game, but in VR specifically, emergent play is so huge. I mean, one of the biggest meta shifts we saw was, at least to my understanding, a byproduct of the game's mechanics and the ability to do whatever you want. All right, that Super Majestic's going to come down on the stage. Tesserakt's going to take some damage stepping into it. Oh my goodness. Ooh, so Josie got rid of his 2-second shield for that Super Majestic. That's going to be a significant change to the cooldown of his loadout. He's going to have to worry about just dodging a lot of this and waiting for the combo to come off a cooldown. The last minute here. Oh, here comes the clamp from Tesseract. He's got the Super Majestic in hand. He's being very careful. He knows that 10 seconds is a really long time. Oh, we're gonna see some juggling. Where's that Super Majestic? Did he end up dropping it? Am I going crazy?
I used to.
I think Tesseract has the health advantage now.
Really close.
Super duper close.
Only about 20
If Josie can get
seconds left.
to the front of his play area safely, maybe after this avalanche nade. Okay, maybe after this avalanche nade.
15 seconds.
Oh, he's gonna go in.
That was 6 damage with the nade toss.
Oh, he's gonna go in.
10 seconds.
Oh, he's gonna force Tesseract back.
It's so close. I can't tell who is
So
winning.
close. Yeah, I can't
Oh.
tell.
Josie's has a slight.
And Josie's gonna take round 1.
The round is over.
Super Majestic meta. Super Majestic meta.
Wow, that was unexpected. That was such a risky move to bring the Super Majestic.
Blast on.
Going into round 2. Josie taking damage at the beginning of this round. He's gonna, you know. Oh, excuse me. You know, I wonder if this weapon choice was partially motivated by the health of these weapons. Super Majestic technically has the most health of any weapon in the game at 30, which means that you can drop block, I believe that means up to 6 Wildcat bullets and even more Vector bullets.
But the cooldown, I mean, it's so expensive to have it in your loadout, so you have to make deal damage every time.
Yep, Josie's going to take a lot of damage in that exchange there. Tesseract's looking pretty healthy. And going into this last minute, it's not going to be great for Josie.
1 minute.
Oh, he's having to drop block a lot of those Wildcat bullets to get out of it.
This level of play, this big of a health difference can be really hard to get back to.
All right. That Super Majestic's certainly going to help. It doesn't do nearly as much damage as I think Josie was hoping. All right, doesn't even want to see that avalanche nade. I think that was a good strategy from Josie. Ooh, doing the drop block in between shots here. Oh, Tesseract also just drop blocking the heck out of those bullets. Going to take a little bit more damage from that Super Majestic.
15 seconds.
I don't know if Josie's going to be able to get this back here.
This
Oh, maybe with that nade?
is it gonna be enough?
5 seconds. 3.
Oh, Tesseract takes a little bit more damage, but it's not going to be enough. He's going to take round 2.
Okay, this is the kind of game we want.
Yep.
Back and forth.
Down to the
winning
wire.
the rounds.
Blast on.
The other thing, too, that Super Majestic's going to force Tesseract to the, well, kind of to the front of his play area. Either way, I think that was a good pick for Josie. Ooh. Tries to drop block the Wildcat, but doesn't quite get it.
Well, Josie really has to follow up the Super Majestic with something else, because by itself it's not hard to dodge. So you only use it to push Tesseract to the side of the podium. You have to be really careful when to use it.
Oh, there we go. There we go. There's some damage coming out on it. Ooh, Josie pulling a full Matrix, somehow managing to get through that huge line of bullets.
Yeah, just touching the Super Majestic is hurting you a lot.
Oh,
really
yeah.
Quick. So just dipping your shoulder into it can give you quite a damage.
Yeah, it's not fun. Ooh, that's going to be a lot of damage coming out on Josie. I still think he has the health advantage here.
Yeah, slightly.
The other thing, of course, is that Super Majestic's going to be getting around any sort of shield that Tesseract puts up. I think that's a secondary effect, but it's still going to be come up here in the last 30 seconds. Can't block it, can't shield it. You just kind of have to deal with it.
There's no way to tell who's going to take this round.
Ooh, and even that nade damage of it actually hitting Josie might come into play here. Ooh, forcing him to use that shield.
15 seconds.
I think that Tesseract's slightly up on health, but it is really too close to tell.
10 seconds.
Oh, if he gets to the front of his play area, use the Super Majestic.
Oh, we get the shield damage.
Oh, and in the last seconds, I think that was the last second, that last bullet that managed to hit Josie. That's gonna take game 1 for Tesseract.
Wow, that was so close.
Goodness. Oh, regardless,
Oolong, what do you say? What do you think?
I think that shoot, I don't even know what to think at this point. I think that the Super Majestic was a great counter pick. I think that it managed to. I mean, 10 seconds is real expensive for a weapon in Blaston.
Yeah.
But I still think that it provided Josie with enough damage to make it worth it across those couple rounds. I think that if he manages to go tether here and go with another bananas build, with the tether and the Super Majestic, I think that we could see. I think that we could see Josie take it around here, possibly with the Super Majestic. He could also switch off of it and go back to double shield.
Yeah, and I was surprised to see Tesseract getting damaged by the Super Majestic, but a good thing about choosing a weapon that is not so common is that probably Tesseract is not so used to dodging it. So I saw several times he got his shoulder into the Super Majestic, and at this high level play, that's, you can't do that. It's too much damage. So yeah. Yeah.
Actually, another thing to mention is that so the Super Majestic travels a short distance and then it kind of stalls out and it stops moving forward. And because of that, the position you fire it from actually determines where it will end up and sit for a while. So usually you want it on the center of the play area, which means that you want to be firing it not necessarily at the very front of your own player area, but you want to do it from more so the middle. So if Josie isn't able to get up into the middle of his play area there and get the good positioning for the Super... Oh my gosh! And the Nova! Never tell me that Nova isn't meta! And that's going to be one heck of a counter
tether
pick.
for Tesseract.
Oh yeah, so sorry for everyone in stream. Spoiler alert, spoiler alert. But yeah, the Super Majestic and the Nova, that's going to be a huge counter pick going into this tether here.
Wow.
And we're seeing another bananas build coming out from Tesseract with the tether and the Nova Helix.
This is beautiful. They are bringing really different loadouts than I was expecting.
3, 2,
These loadouts are, and I can say this with all honesty, pretty bananas.
Yeah, I've seen Tesseract with this build.
Is
He's
that
really good.
a Nova Hurricane? Oh my god, it is a Nova Hurricane coming out from Josie.
What? That?
It's a Nova
I
Hurricane.
didn't see that.
Oh my god.
That's
Oh my
much
goodness.
more unexpected than the Super Majestic.
What is happening?
blast on.
Yeah, okay, Nova Hur. I didn't even
Okay.
think about it.
I want to see what he's planning to do with that.
Okay, so the Nova Hurricane, for all of you watching at home, is an alternative to the normal Hurricane. Only gets 3 bullets, but those bullets are gonna do, I believe, 25 damage a piece as well. Oh, gonna go right into it with the Nova. And that's pretty much gonna shut down this entire... Oh, well, I guess not. Tesseract's gonna pull a couple of those bullets.
So the big Novas are really good counter to the tether because you can hide behind them and they have a lot of health points.
Ooh, all right, Tesseract actually going to take a lot of damage there. Pretty much going to even this up. I think Josie... So it's interesting to see Josie run both the 4-second shield and the Nova. Usually, at least in my opinion, you want to go with the 2-second shield for the shorter cooldown and the utility. But... Yeah. Oh, and Tesseract does have that 2-second shield himself that can delete 2 of these Novas. Oh, but he's going to use it on the Hurricanes instead. Ooh, and he's going to take a lot of damage here. Oh, but that Helix is going to be very scary. Oh, and the 4-second shield paying for itself there. Boy, Josie having to slide out of that.
Yeah, you usually don't see Josie moving that much, but with the tether, he has to.
Ooh, all right, those Helixes. Those Helixes could make this game. Well, not this round. I don't think they're going to be able to make it this round, but this game overall, if Josie manages to get hit by those...
We have Josie in the lead.
They do a scary amount of damage. Ooh, all right. Oh, he hits him in the hand with the Nova Hurricane. That extra collision in health is going to pay off.
Wow.
Oh my goodness, and Josie's going to take round 1.
Nova Hurricane.
Very rarely do you see Nova Helix, Nova, and Nova Hurricane at all in high-level play, much less in the same game across 2 players. He's not even gonna want to see it. Ooh, that last Nova didn't have great placement. That's gonna make this tether push a lot more scary. But as we saw it, he's firing that Nova Hurricane straight forward into the tether and having that extra health suck up some of that damage. Oh, it's a good tactic. One of the Nova Hurricanes is gonna hit. Oh my goodness. This is so hype. I'm like nerding out about this match and I feel kind of bad because I'm casting it, but oh my goodness, this is not what I expected going into finals.
We're seeing new metas developing as we speak.
New Nova Hurricane meta. Defur was right with this tier list the whole time. Oh my god. All right, last minute. Josie's got a significant health advantage. I honestly, the one thing I will say is I feel like those Novas are a lot scarier when you're firing them straight at your opponent. I think that the normal Hurricane's more scary when you fire it from above. But we're going to see how that pays off. We've got those 2 Novas on the board. Each one of those does as much as a Viper bullet. If Tesseract touches them, it is a lot bigger.
Oh, we're going to see a lot more Nova Hurricanes in the queue from this moment on.
God, that scares the heck out of me. This is the last push from both of these players. Ooh, and he is gonna hit one of those Novas. Or Nova Hurricanes, I'm sorry. Nova Hurricanes. I have to specify because usually you don't see both of them on the same build.
No, it's so rare. And maybe this is a strategy from Josie to bring these unexpected weapons that Tesseract is just not used to dodging. The movements from the Nova Hurricane, I mean, you rarely see that.
Yeah.
And hitting Tesseract with that kind of weapon is, oh wow, it's so surprising.
Yeah.
Because it's moving really slowly.
I'm like on the edge of my seat. Thank goodness these cameras aren't on during the game because you would just see me with my mouth agape the entire time.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And finally not a 3-out.
Okay.
Finally not a 3-out.
I have to remember to keep breathing because, wow, this was intense.
Same.
Yeah, everyone, let's just, breathe. Keep breathing.
Yeah, breathe. Everybody take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. Don't think about how much Nova you're going to see in queue after this. Breathe in. Breathe out. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. And Niels pointed out in chat, if we were ever going to see the Vandal counterplay, now would be the time.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I mean, if Tesseract had chosen the Vandal, that would have been such a great counter to Josie's build.
Well,
so Josie is not going to keep this loadout. I mean, it's too risky.
We'll just have to see. He could come out with an equally silly, equally fringe weapon loadout here too. I mean, I wouldn't even be surprised if we saw him with tether. Oh man.
Ooh, okay, so
Everybody breathe in.
at least it's not gonna be a 3-0 game.
Yep. All right, we're going into our testing round here.
Blast on.
Did Tesseract pack the Vandal? Okay, no, both of them have pretty much gone back to fairly
that's
standard
good.
builds.
That's
The one thing I
really
will say,
smart.
Josie with the snowball.
No. It would have been too risky for Tesseract too. It was too expected to bring the Vandals, so I'm happy he didn't do that.
Well, and Josie not running the double shield, but favoring the 4-second shield over the 2-second shield. That and the snowball are going to be the two main differences. And also, I think that he's dropped the Wildcat, and I think the reason for that is because he knows that Tesseract can drop block it with consistency.
Probably, yeah, because you usually see Josie with Wildcat.
One player wins.
Game 3,
3, 2,
and we're off.
1. Blast on.
Tesseract going to start with a nade, but it's going to immediately get blocked. I think that actually got shot down by a hurricane. Duck out of the way. Oh, but takes a big snowball! That's going to be actually so huge in this match. Oh, and you can hear those avalanche nades hitting the back wall. That's what I was talking about before when I said those sound cues. A lot of weapons in Blaston will have really distinctive, cute sounds. And, oh my god, I'm so sorry. I just didn't even expect that. Another snowball hitting Tesseract here.
Oh, and a Vector.
Forcing him to split his attention. Oh, but he's actually going to take a lot of damage there. All right, Tesseract's going to take 2 more hits.
1 minute.
Ooh, all right, Josie's going to get hit by one of those avalanche shades, but it's going to be on the back of his podium. So it's going to stay out of his way for the rest of this round. The avalanche shade coming down from the top. Those beam cages on the ground are still a risk. Tesseract can't dodge too deep. Josie's going to take one of those, I almost called it a Viper again, one of the vectors from behind.
Yeah, I wonder, can Tesseract?
Oof. Returns it to sender. 15 seconds left on the clock.
Nice dodge.
Oh, he's going to take a couple more hits of damage, but so is Josie.
10 seconds.
Is it
Oh, and Tesseract's going to be brought down to red.
Oh, Josie's gonna take this round. Is he?
Josie's going to take round 1.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Beautiful play by Josie.
Oh my god. The snowballs in the beginning literally took the match.
1.
Yeah.
Blast on.
So Tesseract's gonna be really careful with the snowball from now on.
Yep. Yeah, and that means he's going to have to split his attention. He's got to keep his eyes forward to know when and where that snowball's coming from, but he's going to have to look behind him for pretty much everything else. Ooh, like that, for example. Like that. Those hurricanes are going to be very scary. Josie picks up a snowball. He picks it up menacingly. Ooh, Tesseract's going to get hit with another snowball.
Cannot afford to be hit by those snowballs.
Nope. Can't really afford to get hit with anything at this point.
That's
We're seeing
true,
a nice beam cage on the screen here.
First
Our
person
camera
to-
got hit. Our camera guy just took 15 damage.
1 minute.
Oh, the snowball got blocked there. but it's going to force Tesseract. I mean, he's only got the 2-second shield, so he isn't wasting much, but it's still going to cause him to waste his shield. And I think at this point, I think that Josie still has the health advantage, but it's certainly not by much. Oh, and the Avalanche Nade coming down right in front of him.
Oh, what a nade.
Oh, fatigue is starting to set in.
Not deciding this game.
Oh, man. Oh, 15 seconds left on the clock. It's got to be such a large health advantage for Josie that it's almost guaranteed. But is he going to be able to end the round? Second clock.
5 seconds.
Tesseract
3,
cannot get enough damage.
1.
All right. Josie is going to take game 3. All right.
We get 2-1 to Josie.
Oh my goodness. And I think that round was a great example of if Josie can get the, I don't want to necessarily say the confidence, but if he can stay in an ideal spot on his play area to fire both the snowballs and the hammer from and keep up the pressure, these rounds are swaying in his favor.
Yeah, like you said, he's looking really confident now. He feels like he owns his podium, and then he can, then he controls the pellet storms. So yeah, I wonder what Tesseract is gonna do now to counter this control. He has to push Josie out of control because he's so good when he owns the game.
Yeah, when he has the freedom to just paint his happy little lines of vector ellipse. That's just a scary thought. Don't think about that too hard or your mind will explode. The hammer ellipse, being able to just set up the hammer ellipse bullets as he wants, gives him a huge advantage. Any ideas for or counter picks, counter plays, any sort of weapons that we might see here? I would not be surprised if we saw the Vandal.
Yeah, maybe the Vandal, because he's expecting an unexpected build from Josie. So, I mean, I think there's a lot of mind games going on right now, and maybe it can be decided on who is best at, guessing what the other guy's choosing.
Yep. Some intense mind games are going to be going on either way in this match. I wouldn't even be surprised if we saw Josie go back to using the Nova Hurricane and the Nova. That was one heck of a pick.
Yeah, maybe now when he's in the lead, he may be daring to go with the tether or something.
Yep.
To just put Tesseract out of control.
But he doesn't have too much of a lead. That one game that Tesseract did take, I mean, if he chooses something wild and ends up losing this match, we will be going to game 5, which we all love, but Josie probably wouldn't want to see.
Mm-hmm.
And also, it's useful to remind everybody that everything you see on screen is being performed by real people in the real world. Fatigue is definitely something that's going to start affecting these players in these later matches.
Yeah, okay, let's see. We have the Nova Hurricane back.
Oh my god, the Nova Hurricane.
And the normal Hurricane from Tesseract.
And Tesseract this time around actually going to go with double shields himself. I don't know how that's going to play out for him.
He's an amazing double shield player, so let's see if he can...
Hold on, I have almost every single weapon in this game memorized except for the Nova Hurricane. I want to see something on the wiki real fast.
So I think that the double shield is a pretty good counter to Josie's build right now, because he's going to be able to throw the shields at the Nova Hurricanes to clear them out and still have a shield left in his loadout.
Yep. Yeah, Nova Hurricane doing 40 collision a hit, which means that it could suck up all... Actually, his shield can only suck up, I believe... No, it can't suck up all 3 of them. So... it's going to be dependent on how he uses it, but it might be a good counter to that Hurricane. Josie taking a little bit of damage at the start of this round. Those Nova Hurricanes are coming down. Tesseract only manages to get rid of 1.
Probably enough.
Oh, but more importantly, they're going to break right through the normal Hurricanes. I wonder if that was the motivation behind that pick. Tesseract drop blocking the actual snowball itself.
Yeah, he's been dodging the snowballs much better in this game, so he has to keep doing that.
He knows to watch out from.
The white orb of death.
Wow. We're a minute and 20 seconds into this game, and almost no damage has been taken on either one of these players.
And this is something we can see with the double shield. Like, we're gonna see Tesseract almost all the time having a shield in his hands, and he's gonna know exactly where the other shield is.
Ooh, he's gonna take 2 of those vector bullets.
So now Tesseract can just go into defense. Just wait out.
Right, those are coming down from above. If he fires the Nova straight forward, he actually might be able to get something done here. Okay, 5 seconds left on the clock. He pops the shield.
The Nova Hurricane by itself is really
Oh,
easy
he
to dodge.
drop blocks the snowball. Oh man, that's so
beautiful, beautiful drop block. Okay, that was a great game by Tesseract.
good. Great round.
Oh, like we can see the double shield slow down
Quick
the
snowball
game.
starting out this round. Double shield strong. Yeah. This is why it's become part of the meta, but you know, honestly, it's also just good movement on both of these players. Ooh. Pops the shield, and then shield bashes with his own. I think the double shield into the Nova Hurricane was definitely a good counter pick from Tesseract. Yeah, kind of duck out of the way of that.
So we're already 40 seconds into the game and barely any damage has been done. So we can see Tesseract staying a lot in the back of the podium. So he can just stay safe and be controlled. He's a great back podium player, and it's so hard to hit him with anything when he's back there.
Ooh, Josie's gonna take some damage from that from the Hammer Ellipse. Yeah, he has to win with his snowball. I mean, even one snowball here would just be doing so much damage.
Yeah.
Ooh, Tesseract gonna take one of those Nova Hurricanes.
Oh. It's not enough, but now they are so close.
Yup.
We're getting close, getting to 30 seconds left.
Tesseract's able to get this chip damage, and I think that this round is going to be determined by whether or not Josie can get in some heavy damage of his own.
Saving the snowball. Is he gonna hit it? That's gonna be enough.
Oh, he baited the shield. Oh, he baited the shield, and he goes in with the Nova Hurricane in the last 10 seconds.
Oh my god, that
Oh my
was...
gosh. Oh, and he takes the round with 5 seconds to spare. Josie's going to take round 2.
He knew he had to do everything, and he got into a vulnerable position.
3, 2,
I'm sweating. I'm on the edge of my seat.
Okay, keep breathing.
I gotta make sure not to hyperventilate. Yeah. Oh, that was such a clutch play at the end there from Josie.
Oh, nice use
I don't
of
know.
that.
Oh yeah, he didn't actually manage to get rid of those hurricanes. Oh, they're gonna come down. Oh, and one of those is gonna hit Tesseract.
Oh, he's not happy about
Nova
that.
Hurricane meta. Nova Hurricane meta.
I think the slow movement. The slow movement. He's not
He
used to
baits out
that.
the shield with the snowball. I don't think, oh man, that manages to somehow get through the shield. I don't think Josie can rest. I think he needs more of a health lead to be truly safe here. He's gonna try and suck up all that he can with that 4-second shield.
Nice dodging by Josie.
Oh, he manages to clear multiple of those hurricanes with
The
each
beautiful
shot.
use of the Nova Hurricane. The Nova Hurricane. Just deleting the normal Hurricane.
With the weapon throw. Right. Oh man, and those avalanche chains gonna do a bit of damage, but it's not enough to even it up. I think Josie still has the health advantage here going in the last 30 seconds.
They're just one pellet apart from each other.
He's got his shield. Oh, but he still manages to get hit a little bit. I think that's going to give it to Tesseract.
Is it?
It's going to be very dependent on hitting the Nova Hurricane and the snowballs. 10 seconds left on the clock. I definitely think this is going to go to Tesseract unless something happens in the last couple seconds here.
Tesseract is having a lead.
Oh, just throwing the weapons out, trying to get all the damage he can. And Tesseract's going to take game 4. Oh my gosh. Oh.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. All right. Wow.
Hey, Defur. Yeah, Defur is getting his.
He's getting his game 5.
Yeah, it's 2-2. So yeah, this is what Defur was asking about. Oh my god. This is such a wonderful game. I'm so happy that these two are faced in the grand final, and I mean, seeing all this innovation and creative use of weapons we rarely see, it's just amazing.
Yeah, I think the Nova Hurricane as a counter to the 4-second Hurricane. I mean, even if it does take up those extra 2 seconds, being able to break through the line of Hurricanes before they come down and avoid wasting a shield is a pretty ideal. And then, I mean, even the 4-second shield versus the 2-second shield, an interesting pick from Josie. I think it did help him out in that last match.
Okay, yeah, so what are they going to bring now? What are they going to bring now? I don't know. I mean,
I think that we're going to see... Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he went back to the Super Majestic.
No, the normal Majestic. I'm just trying to think about, like, what's even more unexpected.
Man. Oh, if we see the normal Majestic coming out here, I don't know what I'd do. That's too hype for me.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see that, but...
I might experience hype overload. Oh, man. That is incredible. I mean, I think that we could see the Vandal come out here as a counter pick to the Nova Hurricane, especially because there were several points in that match that Tesseract tried to throw up that shield to delete the Nova Hurricanes as they were coming down, but the arc was actually higher than the normal arc, so he wasn't able to.
Yeah, Josie's got long arms also. He can really make him go really high.
I think regardless of who wins this match, they both deserve it.
But
there can only be one.
Yeah. So maybe we'll see the Vandal. I don't know if he dares.
Final game.
Okay, this is the deciding game.
The deciding game. I'm going full screen here. I have to be able to see every little detail.
Yeah, same here. Okay, double shield.
All right, no, it's gonna be pretty much the same build from both of them. Josie actually going back to the Wildcat and not running any sort of Hurricane, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out for him.
Yeah, he does an Avalanche Nade instead of the Hurricane. Otherwise, they have the same build.
Yep.
Back to
double
meta.
shields
Double
in
shield
the final
meta.
round.
So in this game, potentially every hit is going to be deciding matter.
Every hit is going.
They
to
are
be
going
so
to be able to defend so well using double shields, and both of these players are among, if not the best double shield players.
All right. Good luck. Have fun.
Thank you.
May the best man win. I think either way, both of them have shown that they're the top of the. They're both at the top of this game. Actually, Turbo pointed out it's the reverse of what they played in the first round.
3, 2,
Right.
1. Blast off.
Starting out here, laying down some lines of the hurricane, or lines of hurricanes, lines of hammer. Tesseract got to take a big chunk of early damage here, but so is Josie. Not even wanting to see it. Now it's Tesseract's turn.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be decided on who makes the mistakes, because they're both really good in performing the combos.
Oh, he tries to throw out the shield to get around it. Oh, but he's not able to. Oh, and Tesseract is gonna take a lot of damage there. Josie being pushed to the back of his podium. That's not usually what he likes to see. Again, Josie wants to get up into the center of his podium and be able to fire off those hammer ellipse shots however he wants. Oh, Tesseract actually manages to grab it and return it to sender. Going in with the Wildcat. Going in with the Vector, sorry. Or no, I'm sorry, he going in with the Wild. Okay.
Oh, he got hit by the Hurricane. I thought he saw that.
Yeah, I think Tesseract's got the health advantage going in the last 30 seconds. Ooh, Josie manages to miss one of those drop blocks. But he's going to be able to fire now himself. Oh, he doesn't actually manage to shield the nade.
Oh, that's
they both take a lot of damage.
Deciding.
Okay, well, we thought going into this round that this was going to be decided by like a tiny thing in health. And although that is still true, they've actually both taken a lot more health than I was expecting.
So close.
He's up on the clock.
So close.
Who's gonna be?
Josie's in the lead.
And Josie's gonna take round one! Oh my goodness. But both of them got down to, below half health.
So much pressure from both players.
Oh, match point for Josie. If he can 2-0 this, he can go home. A lot of focus is being asked for from both of these players. Ooh, all right. This is going to be a perfect storm for Josie. Gonna get some damage in there. Ooh, I think he tried to throw out the shield there to get rid of Josie's shield. So shields have collision like every other projectile in Blaston. So if you throw a proc shield into your opponent's shield, you can do a massive amount of damage to it.
Ooh, didn't manage to drop block that attack from Josie.
Okay. No, we're good. Lags on our end. Oh, the last minute here. Tesseract does not even want to see it.
Nice dodging by Tesseract. But he has to deal some damage to Josie now.
He does. He doesn't have to deal much. And Josie just used that 4-second shield. Oh, how many? He manages to get through that hammer ellipse with 0 damage. The hype. Oh, when the shield toss is doing a non-insignificant amount of damage.
Shield and the weapon, that's 5 damage. That's a lot in this game.
Ooh!
Final
Josie's gonna take quite a bit of damage, but I don't think it's gonna be enough. It depends on what we get out here in the last 10 seconds. Tesseract using both of his shields. 5 seconds left.
The difference is
and I don't think those hammer ellipses are gonna get out in time. And the winner of the VR Summer Games Premier League bracket
so close.
is gonna be Josie.
Wow, amazing job, Josie. It's like, is it 10 damage, 15 damage lead?
It was
get?
maybe 1. If there were 10 seconds left on that round, that could have gone somewhere else. But Josie's gonna take the win. Oh my gosh, coming back from the loser's bracket for his revenge. Oh my god, I'm like shaking. That was
I wonder
incredible to watch.
I wonder what is going through their minds right now.
Cat's calling for a rematch. But no, there's no double elimination required from the winner here. That is it. Oh man.
I wish I could hear them talking right now.
Oh yeah, I wish we could hear him too. Oh my goodness. What an absolutely hype match. I'm just like flabbergasted, especially with that Nova Hurricane deciding some of those matches for Josie.
Oh, it was a beautiful grand final.
Beautiful grand. All right, Defur, if you're out there, come back to us, Defur.
We are here, both me and Cruxer, I think, and everyone who has been watching this game is out of breath of just seeing all of this unfolding. Like, this is so crazy. Like, I can't... I don't even know what to say. Like, it feels like we've gone in so many things happen in such short amount of time. I can't even begin to know where to, like, start with this.
How do you feel knowing that you were right on the tier list all along?
I honestly forgot about it when I was looking at this. I was just purely enjoying the gameplay, and I'm all I can say, I'm like happy to see the depth of like how people are pushing themselves, and like that's the beauty of like a game with deep mechanics like Blaston, is that, like, you know, metas and like tier lists, you can have them as much as you want, but when it comes down to it, it's you versus the other guy, and if you know what to do to get them to lose, it doesn't matter. If you just execute, then you're gonna win. And like, when I start seeing the Nova Hurricane countering the regular Hurricane, which is like, in theory, it's like, yeah, of course it does counter that, but then it's like, when you see it, it's like, oh, it does do that. It does counter it. It's like, what the hell? Like, you get into this next level of it. I don't even know. Cruxer, do you have any thoughts? You've been also watching this from the sidelines.
Oh my gosh. I gotta say, so I was downstairs in my living room. I have my roommates and I have some friends over, and one of my roommates plays the game, but nobody else does. And by the end of that last match, we were all sitting on the couch screaming at the TV. Like, it was so good. I mean, the innovation, the skill shown from both players, the fact that so many times each of them was able to weave their way through an entire combo without taking any damage, I was losing it. Oh my gosh.
We had the storyline all the way up until the end, EU versus NA, and we had them the Teen Titans coined in the chat as well. I love it. It's like you had the different parts of the bracket in the beginning. When we started in the upper part, it's the 33-year-olds versus the teenagers, and then it's just like kind of developed all throughout this weekend. And like, I'm so excited to see this. Like, now taking a step back, Oakfire, was this what you anticipated? Could you have anticipated this?
Oh,
what's
no,
your thoughts?
This was just much better than I or anyone could have anticipated. I think it was just a wonderful show and beyond the meta show. And what a worthy opponent for Josie, who has been just owning the tournament so far. I mean, it was close. It was like 15 health points difference in the end.
All down to the wire. Do you have any comments against, or regarding the meta and like changing the loadouts? What kind of stuck out to you the most with this? Because they were changing so many things, so I understand that you can't summarize it, but anything that kind of sticks out to you, Okar?
I think both of these players are experts at the meta, so they had to do something unexpected to, you know, surprise the other opponent. So, yeah, I don't know what to say.
I think we're all in the same boat on that one. Oolong, how do you feel about this, and like what kind of stuck out for you this match? I mean, besides, you know, everything.
I think the most telling parts of that whole 5-match lineup was the weapons that did stay the same between each weapon swap. Every round you saw the hammer ellipse. You saw most of the time either the Hurricane in one way or another, and then you saw the Vector coming out. And I mean, there were some counter plays and counter picks. I mean, that round where we saw the Nova Helix, the Nova, and the Nova Hurricane, the only thing we were missing was the Nova Nade. But, you know, both these players sticking to their backbone, sticking to mostly dealing their damage with that hammer ellipse. And then putting in these counter picks where needed to help fill out the rest of their build. It was really amazing to watch, and I was really lucky to be able to watch it live and cast and be able to see that, because that was pretty hype.
Yes, and I mean, let's not forget both of these players are going home with some dosh, but also Josie is going home with a second B-Haptics vest, which is getting ridiculous at this point. Josie winning the in-game event not too long ago, where they had 100 and we had an in-game event where you enter with some blasts, and then if you lose 5 times, you're out. Josie won 120 games, and no one actually took them out. Like, they they just kept going through the entire weekend of the event, and then the time ran out, and then the second place finisher was of 40 wins. So I mean, Josie has had it going for them lately, but Tesseract really put up a good fight with this. I mean, if we just compare the two players against each other, like, what do you think Tesseract was doing well in this match, and like what could he have done better in that regard? Maybe Oolong, you can start with this one.
I think that, I mean, honestly, there was so little room for improvement that it's kind of hard to say if either one of these players were doing anything wrong. I will say in that last round, I would have been very we saw Double Shield versus Double Shield, and we've seen this theme throughout the tournament of Double Shield losing to hyper aggressive builds. And I would have been very interested to see if Tesseract went back and only ran the one shield, if that last match would have played out differently. But, to some degree, when there's so much pressure on the match, we thought that it was going to be determined by, one player taking one hit and that just settling the whole match. But I mean, in that first round, they were slugging it out. Both of them ended up below half health by the end of it.
Yeah, that was so crazy. If you look from Tesseract's perspective, you too, Oakfire, what do you think about their play so far? Because they've been playing almost flawlessly, and then up until this match, it's like then things started to change. Like it was, we had all of these 3-0s, and then now suddenly things changed. What do you think changed for Tesseract?
So I think Josie managed to put Tesseract off guard. I mean, I was not expecting so many Nova Hurricanes to actually hit on the shoulder of Tesseract, and the same with the snowballs. So Josie did really well and surprising, and I don't know, putting him off guard. I mean, normally that is not hard to dodge for a good player, and especially not for Tesseract. But obviously, a lot of stuff was going on at the same time.
Yes, a lot of stuff were going on. That's a good way to put it. And it was, I think, most incredible to see that the last game was like, someone was pointing that out in chat too, like no fast weapons. It was just about the bullet hell and like positioning and like figuring out strategical combos. It's like, I don't know, you were saying you were nerding out too long. You were not alone, like by any means. I was like looking at all this like, oh my god, this is like a freaking fighting game happening, but it's two real humans doing this. It's like insanity. Cruxer, final point here on Tesseract's gameplay. What do you think?
Yeah, so I feel like, and I was going to say basically the same thing Oolong said. Both players played to such a degree that I can't just say like, oh, he was doing this slightly wrong. I feel like, it's what could he have really done, especially in the rounds where Josie had the Nova Hurricane, is Josie was taking a play off of Woody's earlier match with Turbo, where there would be the avalanche nade, the snowball, and then other bullets coming in at the same time. So there's too many directions to look, and you just don't have enough eyes sometimes in the VR. Yeah,
that's very true. Maybe Josie just got powered up by that lower final, because we were seeing some crazy stuff even back then where they were doing like behind, what is it? Not even looking Viper shots. That was behind the back snowball, all of these things.
Juggling with 3 nades and throwing them all at the right time.
There's so many.
We were screaming in my house.
There's so many things to like even, I don't know, the more you think about it, the more stuff pops up. We have had the question from the chat, are we going to hear from the players? And yes, we do have Josie. We're going to take a quick break. After the break, we're going to have the interview with Josie. Then we're going to wrap up the show and just pick their brains about these final games. So when we come back, you will be hearing from Josie and their thoughts of this tournament and how they feel about it. So just stay tuned for that. I'm trying to delay this as much as I can, because I'm fixing the production as well. Don't mind me. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back. All right, and we're back. Now, you might be wondering why people have been turning into photographs on stream. Now, that is because when you add stuff to the call, all the overlays break. But we have Josie on the call with us. So, Josie, first of all, congratulations to the win. You have won the Blaston Premier bracket. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. I was actually talking to Tesseract after our game. I was getting a slight nosebleed from being overworked, I think, during the match because of just how many games I just played and how tough it was.
That
never really happened to me before, but Tesseract is a tough opponent.
Yes, there were so many things that were going on during this game, and I mean, we are all just feeling happy that we were able to see it. So you went down versus Tesseract in the upper bracket, first of all, with a 3-0. How did you, what were you thinking when you were getting into the grand finals, going back up against them?
I was mainly thinking that I needed to switch it up. I was talking to guys like Wesso and Woody between the games after Turbo, I guess both before and after Turbo, about how the heck am I supposed to beat this guy? And they were basically telling me that he's feeding off of me being predictable. Everyone knows the loadout I bring and he's prepared for it. And so I realized I just needed to be unpredictable and switch it up from what I'd been normally running. And that's what I try to do.
That's great. And yeah, sorry about the music. It was a bit loud there for a second. But if you didn't hear what Josie said was getting a nosebleed during the match. So I hope you're fine now, by the way. This is not the first B-Haptics vest that you're winning. What are you gonna do with all of these suits? This is getting a bit crazy in this regard.
Actually, I think it might have been Oolong that was interested in purchasing one off me. We live pretty close to each other.
Oh,
that's true. That's true. So if I end up with one on stream, you'll know that it was originally Josie's. Either that, or you could just keep them all like the Iron Man suits.
I have a wall of them.
That is crazy. So we'll take just a question from each caster, because we have so many things to pick your brain about, but we want you to be able to celebrate your victory as well. So Oolong, what do you have to ask for Josie?
All right, I got a good one. So last tournament, you were part of that. You won the last tournament that I ran as well. And at that point, drop blocking, we just learned that it was a thing. Some people were doing it in the course of the tournament, but it was still kind of theoretical. And I would say that there was a good number of points in that last set where entire rounds were determined by drop blocking. And I did notice that when you did switch to the Hurricane, you did drop in some rounds the Wildcat. So how prevalent do you think, with top level players becoming really, really good at drop blocking, how prevalent do you think that the Vector and the Wildcat are going to be going forward in the meta?
I believe that if Vector remains the same without a nerf, it's going to be part of the meta for a long time, because firing it straight at your opponent, it can get drop blocked, sure. Still moves pretty fast, so it's not an easy task, but you can bounce it off of the roof, off the corners. I think it was VR Ferret or something. He has 20 different bounce angles for the Vector, and so in that sense, it's not really going to be getting drop blocked or removed from the meta anytime soon. But Wildcat, it's a really good zoning tool, I'd say, but I did take it out for some matches because I realized it was next to useless against Tesseract sometimes, because he would just sit there with a weapon and drop block all of the Wildcat pellets. It does have more collision than Vector, but even so, all you really need is to remove those 2 or 3 that might be coming towards you and blocking your movement out, and that's what he was doing. And so I think Wildcat would be removed from the meta a lot quicker than Vector if people keep getting better at drop blocking, and it's advanced very fast, as you mentioned.
Great answer. And again, congratulations, man.
All right, so moving on to Oakfire, what question do you have to Josie?
Yeah, Josie, just congratulations for the show. That was just so much fun to watch. And I'm wondering, what do you think about Tesseract? How is it to face him, and were you expecting this opponent?
See, with Tesseract, I got a taste of my own medicine, in a sense, not only with my loadout and my Hammer E, but I kind of saw some similarities where, he's on the younger side of the top players like I am, and I think he, in these last few months, has just put in a ton of work and improved tremendously, just as, I did. I started, like I asked him when he started. He started in February. I started like a month or two before him, and I just, this game became a pastime for me over quarantine and stuff. And now, I'm off in college and don't play it quite as much as I used to, but he just came roaring into the pro scene by just putting in massive amounts of work with all that, free time he has, I bet. Although I'm sure he's a busy guy. He was talking about having his like GCSEs soon and all that, but it was kind of interesting. It was like a mirror version of myself.
Yes, and I mean that is something that we've kind of noted as well when we've been looking at how both you and Tesseract have been moving when you play along. I mean, you do have different playstyles and loadouts, but still seeing kind of the top from both EU and NA has been amazing to see. Cruxer, do you have anything to add? A question?
Yeah, so I was wondering if you have been sitting on the knowledge of like how well the Nova Hurricane actually counters the typical hurricane, or is that something that you just come up with recently?
Can I take credit for the invention of that kind of technique? That was actually, I learned that just, I'd say around a week ago or so. I was scrimming with Blaston. He's, probably one of the main top 10 players that's known for just coming up with all these crazy builds and beating other top players with them. And we were playing, and I was using Hurricane as I usually do in my main loadout, and he was just destroying them all and then hitting me on the head with countless Nova Hurricanes. And after a little while, I was like, wow, this is actually pretty decent. People say this is like a C or a D tier weapon, but when the opponent plays Hurricane, it becomes, I'd say, B or A tier.
Yeah. All right. Well, amazing. And congratulations. That was such an amazing show.
I mean,
Thank you.
just a quick on that. Were you surprised to see Tesseract getting hit by so many Nova Hurricanes?
A little bit, because he was just like, I dropped Hurricane for most of the games because he would just weave around them every time. But I'd say I'm a decent, Hurricane dodger as well, and I was getting, hit by plenty of Nova Hurricanes, as I said, against Blasted. So I figured that he wouldn't have much experience against them either. I certainly didn't, and so he wouldn't be too knowledgeable on like how to dodge them and how fast they come down compared to the Hurricane.
Not used to the speed.
Yeah.
So, Josie, we just two more things before we let you go and like let you actually celebrate this win, because I mean, you must be so tired as well after these games. But first of all, you've won the biggest prize pool or like prize money win in Blaston ever now. What are you gonna do with this money?
I usually like whenever, I don't really, win or earn that much money. I'm still pretty young, but I usually just, give it to my parents, and it, disappears into their, their wallets. But at the same time, they pay for my college and all of that. And so like, yeah, I don't really keep track of my own money a lot. It's just kind of, the family's money, I guess.
That's very humble, and also kind of makes me feel happy about that you feel about so passionately about the game as well. So that was going to be my final question too, is like, so this was the first like really, I guess, big tournament for Blaston. Where like, what do you hope this game and like community is going to go? Like, what if you could decide, what would you want to see in the Blaston community going forward?
More and more in like the Discord and just like the Ozo Lounge, I've seen people from different regions, all that, just kind of the game globally expanding. Oolong and I were just talking about how it's going to be hard to organize fight nights with people from like across the world with like a 12-hour time difference. But that's a good problem to have, like we were talking about. And so I think just having, a bigger player base, players from, more varied regions and stuff, it can create a really cool community, more so than it already is even.
Cool, great. So before we thank you and let you go, do you have any shout outs or anyone you want to thank? Now that you're on the podium, you're the champion, you're the global champion of Blaston. Do you have anyone to thank?
I'd say pretty much all of the top players, Golden Knight, Blasted, Woody, Wesso, they all helped me come up with, the strategies and stuff I used to eventually win, even after I lost, 3-0. And so definitely thanks to them for, helping me out with that. I don't think I would have won if I hadn't scrimmed and like gotten tips from them. And then also, obviously my family, they got me my headset, and they allowed me the space and time to play this game that I enjoy. And so yeah, I'm very thankful for them. My name actually originates from my sister named Josie. We got our headsets as a joint gift and got the game to play together, and her username somehow overrid mine, and it's JJJosie19. So shout out to her.
Well, now we got the story for the name as well, and I mean, you made quite the story for yourself now in this tournament, but thank you so much, Josie, and again, congratulations on your victory for the Blaston Premier Bracket.
Commentating, everyone.
All right, great. Thank you, Josie. We'll talk more to you later.
All right, thank you.
All right, that was so good to hear, like directly from the source, getting this. Now, what an event! Like, I can't even begin to explain it. Now, this is gonna look funny, but I'm just gonna make it so that you can actually see the cameras here on the stream, because it got messed up with the cameras. But here we go, everyone is on screen again, and I mean, look at this bracket as well. Now we're finally finished, and I can only say that this feels good to look at in hindsight. Like, this was so good to see all of this develop. We're gonna wrap it up, but before we do, what final thoughts on the tournament? Cruxer, take it away.
I mean, I just can't be more happy to have been here, been casting for the tournament, been able to watch it and see one of my favorite games at the highest level. I mean, I love seeing these guys whenever I play, and I'll see them in ranked, but against these top guys, I don't tend to stand much of a chance. So seeing them going against each other is great.
I'm very happy to hear that. How about you, Oakfire?
I mean, I'm just seeing the juggling of the nades and the spinning of the snowball. I mean, I love those moments. They're gonna be, remembered forever in the history of Blaston. So I'm happy to be a small part of this.
VR esports history has been written. It's such a cliche, but it's definitely like happened today. And I mean, if people are not aware in chat, this is probably one of the most viewed VR esports tournaments ever, at least for this year. So it's been crazy to actually be able to present this for both the community, but also new eyes to get on the game. But Oolong, what do you have to say? Final thoughts on the tournament?
It was amazing to watch, fantastic to be a part of. Again, thank you to Val for making this possible. Thank you, Resolution Games, for giving us a game with such depth that we can get to these points of high-level play. And all I can say is that, if you're interested in these final matches, a lot of the matches leading up to the final 6 were streamed on a lot of different channels. My own, Slod's channel, and Bounty X Snipes channel, along with a handful of others. If you're interested at all in Blaston, there are now a ton of resources that you can look at to learn more about the game, and I think that ultimately that's just going to be a huge benefit to the community.
That's a good point. And if you are interested in getting Blaston as well, I mean, I'm the representative from the company, so I feel like it's like my obligation to say that this is available on both Steam and Oculus with crossplay. So get it and get into the community. I mean, people are saying this, it's a smaller game, but when you get to know the community, you will always find a game to play. Even if but you can also play against bots. No ill will against that. You can train how much you want. But
Josie's return on investment.
Yeah, exactly. You can see it happen here. But yes, this has been the VR Summer Games 2021. It's been hosted by Virtual Athletics League in collaboration with Resolution Games. Also thanks to B Haptics for sponsoring the tact suits for this prize. Besides the actual prize pool that came out for the finalists here today. Before we go, finally, Cruxer, do you have any shoutouts you want to say before we go?
I was very unprepared. I mean, honestly, I would just shout out to the people that are doing things for the community and helping to grow the game. I mean, Defur has been amazing. He put together all of these stream overlays. He's been the one and only person in the background running this stream. Oolong does great things for the community in hosting a weekly fight night, which is somewhat tournament ran, but mostly just a good get together for people. Oakfire also hosts a specific event that is mostly EU timed because a lot of our content creators are here in the US. And again, shout out to Woody for his YouTube channel, Blasted's new YouTube channel, I believe Baby Spine as well. I just like seeing people do things for the community and helping to grow VR as an esport.
Great to say. Oakfire, you're up next.
Yeah, I mean, thank you, Defur, for organizing this. It's been amazing and so good for the Blaston community, I think. And I want to give a shout out to Slowid, who has been, such a devoted player and streaming so many games with so much passion and so much organizing in the background. So great job, Slowid. And also a shout out to the Euroblasters, who's been become my online family. And this is the European Discord, such a great community. So yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you as well. And I just realized I'm not sure if I'm in that Discord, but I'm gonna join that if I'm not. But great to hear in any case. Oolong, finally, what do you have to say?
I got two things to say. One, if you're not part of the official Blaston Discord, all of these players that we're talking about, that is our primary form of communication. And, we aren't any sort of VR athletes or anything like that. We're just a group of people who really, really like the game. So if you want to learn more, even if you haven't purchased the game, do join that Discord. I believe that's available on the Resolution Games website or the Blaston official website, or you can navigate to their Twitter, which you should obviously be going ahead and following this page so you are notified every time they go live, and follow Blaston on Twitter as well. And the other thing is that it does look like a handful of people are interested in a bit of an Ozo after party. So if you're interested, any of you 902 people watching and talking to me or Josie or anyone else involved, we're going to be partying in Ozo over the next hour or so. So
yeah, let's overflow Ozo.
Yeah,
that is actually
crash the servers.
Yeah, that is actually
let's do it.
That is actually a great idea. We could now this is going into spontaneous mode here, but if you can get if you can get a stream running along, we can raid that one and we can set something up there because we're gonna have to wrap it up. Yeah, we're gonna have to wrap it up in this. But I also thank you for doing my job for me about shouting out the Blaston socials. Of course, if you want to learn more about Blaston and the upcoming updates, because they are coming. Again, I can't say more right now, but it's coming very soon. There's going to be a new weapon. And also, what revealed yesterday is that we are going to have a Steam-free weekend coming up very shortly. And so when this is happening, please follow our social medias, Blaston on Twitter, Facebook. We also have a YouTube channel and, of course, here on Twitch. So thank you for everyone who is watching, and thank you for the developers who've been putting this together. I'm just a community manager. I'm just trying to do my best here. And also thank you for anyone or everyone on the cast, the players, and I think that's all. So thank you, and I almost wanted to do this thumbs down, see you in Oso gesture, because that's where the after party is heading. So see you all in the Oso, and remember to never stay still. Bye bye.
All right, everyone have a good one.
See you in Ozo.